everyone. Welcome to the Captain Logan Show. Hey, it's me, Captain Logan, and joining me tonight is my son, Jayson.
It's me. It's me. It's your son.
It's Jayson. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm distracted by strange, crazy things happening. Okay, so long story short, DJ is leaving the show, but DJ is going to be on tonight's show. But he's not here right now because he was having some technical issues with his computer. And he told us to go ahead without him. And then 30 seconds into the intro music, he showed up and he's able to come in now. So I've got to set this up where I can bring him in. So everybody give me just a minute.
Yes.
But Jayson is going to be the new regular moderator and co-host for this show. We are changing up the format slightly. It's still going to be the same thing that it always has been. A little bit of news, quite a bit of Q&A. Well, actually more like half and half now. We're going to spend a little longer on news at the start so that I don't have to keep apologizing for how long it takes.
Yes.
And we're sad to see DJ go, but he's not really going. We'll still have him on videos. He's going to stick around and do some things on the channel some. I might even be able to occasionally convince him to pop in on this show if it's a topic he's interested in or if we're mostly just doing Q&A stuff. Let me make sure you guys can hear me okay, because my levels look really low. That should be quite a bit better. Okay, just technical difficulties all the way around. Anyway, I'm going to need just a minute to bring him back in.
Sounds good.
So yeah, Jayson, congratulations on your promotion.
Ah.
I'm promoting
Thank
from
you.
within. You can call it nepotism if you want to.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I am currently calling DJ. And it'll be a minute before you guys can see him. Get back in. Oh, I can hear myself.
Oh no.
DJ is watching the show, I think. See, he's already demoted himself back to viewer. DJ Martinez.
Hello, hello.
Hey. There he is. There's DJ Martinez, the former regular co-host of the show as of a couple of days ago. DJ, I'm really mad at you about this because you quit before I had a chance to fire you.
Oh yeah, that was the plan all along.
And I don't know. I should have pulled the trigger on that a long time ago, pretty clearly. Anyway, how the heck are you, man?
Oh man, it's a roller coaster over here. I get on and I'm like, I'm gonna sign in the way I always do. And then I find out that Skype has just been removed from my computer, and I have no way to get in touch with you. So I'm like frantically sending you messages, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's nuts. The timing of that is crazy. You know, like you decided not to regularly do the show anymore, and then you're like, but I'll come back for this show, and then you can't even get in. Like we should have just not even had you on, apparently, or at least that's what the universe is telling us.
I know. I mean, it's like it was ordained, right? I mean, I'm forcibly removed from the show whether I like it or not.
Well, DJ, real briefly, because I don't want to make this like a sad crying fest or anything. A lot of the viewers are sad that you're not going to be with us on a weekly basis anymore for this show. I'll say this real quick too. The timing of this is also odd because just full disclosure, a couple weeks ago, DJ and I had a conversation about possibly axing the show entirely and doing something different, and now he's decided not to do the show anymore, and I was really on the fence about it, where I was like, well, maybe I should pitch something different, and we should try to do some other regular show together. But DJ and I have been kicking around doing some movie commentaries and stuff like we used to. I'm sure that'll happen down the road. I am too busy to promise that on a weekly basis, which is why I didn't pitch that, DJ. But let's have you when you have time and I have time. I know situations have also just changed real hard because you've got your own channel now that is thriving and doing really well, and I'm kind of jealous of your numbers, which was the main reason I was going to fire you.
Oh no, it's been a lot of fun over there, but I mean, you know, this was still fun too. It's just
except it wasn't. Except you hated it. You were ready to leave.
No, and that the post you made was amazing, and all the comments on there were so heartwarming, and I was tearing up reading them. Everyone was super sweet over there. Really appreciate all you guys in the chat. I can't see you guys right now because I'm on a whole different laptop. because of all this craziness. But I had to go opened up over here on my phone for a little bit, and I was reading through. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Obviously I'm gonna miss talking to you guys. I'm gonna miss talking to Cap as much, but yeah, I don't know. You explained it pretty well. I'm checked out. It's not even that I'm angry. A lot of people were like, "Oh, we like negative opinions. It's okay," and I'm like, "Well, it's not even that I don't have any opinions. Like I feel bad because you guys are tuning in for, thoughtful conversations, and I feel like so many times the last couple of weeks, Cap will go on like a diatribe, and then he'll turn the conversation over to me, and I'll be like, and I'll have nothing to say.
Yeah,
and I feel like
I'm trying to include you. I don't want you to feel left out.
I feel like a terrible host, and it was all the doomsday news, or the dooms news, really, because, and not specifically, I wasn't like outraged. Some people thought it was that like set me up at the edge, but it was that great stream that you did with John where you guys were talking. He had like actual opinions and thoughts and speculation, and I was like, oh wow, he's so much more into this than me. I feel like I'm not, I don't have that anymore. I don't have that passion for this anymore. I've kind of, just focused on other things lately. So I want to make the show the best it can be. I want you to talk about stuff. Jayson, John, Austin. The channel I think will be better if those guys are sharing their opinions. And I'll still be around. I'll still talk to Cap whenever I can. But
yeah, I mean, come on for the stuff you actually want to talk about. Obviously you're always welcome to come back into this show, and we're not going to always do news on this show either. We're talking about when it's a slow news week, doing more like GNN type topics and that kind of thing.
Yeah, always game for that kind of stuff. Love that stuff. Just want to talk about stuff I'm passionate about. That's it.
So yeah, I'll let you know what the weeks are like, and you pop in when you feel like it. But also, since we've moved the day, I can occasionally, I can't do this all the time, but I can occasionally take a Thursday or maybe a different day and do a commentary with you too. So you guys aren't gonna completely lose DJ. He's not jumping ship. He's not leaving. He's just not enthusiastic about the stuff that we have to talk about on this show. And again, cards on the table. More than half the time, I'm not either. The difference is because we live in a weird climate right now. I'm not always excited to talk about the news. I feel bad when the audience has to listen to me just complain, and I have to call things like I see it. So I can't pretend like I'm happy with things I'm not happy with. But at the same time, I kind of hate to just spend 45 minutes on like the world sucks and I don't want to live in it anymore. It's very depressing. You don't want it to be like that. But then, like you said, DJ, some people seem fine with that. Where it's like, no, we just want your opinions. Like if it's all doom and gloom, let us know that. And I try to keep it as light as I can, even when I hate everything. But the difference between me and you is I do still have opinions about this stuff. That's part of the problem. Is I'll just scream a lot more. I try to be as fair as I can be, but if I'm not happy, I'm not happy.
Well, yeah, people love that. People love honesty. It's great. And I'll be tuning in. I'll still be hanging out and listening. I've been listening to your collection streams. I think they're wonderful.
Oh, thanks,
I listened to the top 50 character streams you've been doing. I'm still around, guys. I love it. This channel's been a part of my life since I graduated high school, my first year of college. Got me through college, helped me with my English classes. So it's a huge part of my life. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Dad, you helped him with his English classes.
Yeah, you would be surprised by the sheer number of comments I've gotten about that.
Really?
People are like, you got me through high school English. It wasn't like the thing I had the biggest aptitude for. You taught me what storytelling was about. You taught me how to how to formulate a paper. I think I accidentally taught people a 5-paragraph essay, even though Superhero Rewinds were like a 35-paragraph essay.
Yeah, we had to analyze Shakespeare in that class, and I just wrote him like a Superhero Rewind.
That's really cool, and then it worked.
It worked. I got like a 102 in that class.
Oh, we got the thumbs up thing again.
Oh,
with Skype. So what did you say? Did you get on? That's fantastic.
Thank you, everyone. You didn't have to.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on those digital fireworks, on those crappy-looking digital fireworks. But yeah,
what's that about?
For the first, Skype has this thing where if you make certain gestures.
Well, it's actually an iOS Apple thing.
Is.
The computer does it. Yeah.
That explains why it's only ever happened with you, because I could.
You do this. You can do a rave.
It's awesome. What does it do if you flip at the bird? Don't do that.
Annoying.
Don't do that on the show.
I won't do that. It'd be funny if it like censored me.
Do it later, like privately. Let's figure out what that does.
Okay, yeah. All private streams with Cap from now on. We're just gonna talk, just to each other.
That's what we'll do. Yeah, it's gesturing after dark.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounded better in my head.
It sounded great.
I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get on to the news here in a second because we have a crap ton of Comic-Con stuff to cover. We're going to do that in the first hour. In the second hour, we're going to come back, and we've got a brand new segment for you that we'll unveil then, and then we'll do Q&A through most of the show. So yeah, we're changing up the format just a little bit. But I was just going to say, my plan is to continue this show for the foreseeable future. It still gets a decent audience live, and it's still the highest watched thing we make. So people still want our opinions on this stuff, and we have really interesting discussions with you guys. I mean, I kind of, in kicking around, like maybe just replacing it with more commentaries. Like I said, I don't really have time to do that. Or with more reviews and things. Ultimately, I kind of landed on, yeah, but this is the kind of shoot the crap show with your audience, like this is weekly where we do news on the show, but we also just like sit down and chat with you guys and have kind of a fun laid back stream. And so I hate to lose that, not have it built into the schedule. Also, when big stuff, like I occasionally, DJ, would feel like jumping in and doing a Captain Logan show when huge news happen and get out in front of it. And I always felt weird about it because I didn't have you and you're half the show. And now I'm gonna start doing that. I'll do more solo ones when something really happens. I mean, I guess I could have before, but I always felt weird about it. I'm sorry, we can't hear you, DJ. What is happening? Okay, he's having issues apparently with his microphone settings. It's always fun when you think you're having a conversation with a person and it turns out they couldn't have even talked to you the entire time.
You'll just have to communicate with fireworks.
And now the news! So yeah, everybody direct your questions throughout the night to Jayson. I'm sorry, what's up, DJ?
I'm back. It'll be great that it's that you'll be able to you're like a reporter just right there, on the ground, right there. You can just pop up anytime. Kind of like the old days when you would just pop up with a random wild Captain Logan appears stream, and it's good.
Yeah, or even the old Captain's Logs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or even those old Patreon like vlog thoughts, Cap's thoughts. What was it called?
I don't even remember anymore. That was like pull a word out of a hat. It's like everybody gave me a word, and then I pulled a word out of a hat.
Those were fun. I like those.
Yeah.
Maybe
someday I'll come back and do those.
Still, my favorite thing from old Geekvolution, and I told him about this, was this is Captain Logan with a question.
Yeah, you should bring that back.
Yeah, you should bring that back with a question.
Okay, so real quick, here are the new rules for Super Chats. And as always, if you want to make sure that we talk about your topic or ask a question or answer your question, Super Chat is a way to guarantee that we do that. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/Geekvolution and get in an early question. But new rules for Super Chats are you can leave a Super Chat at any point. About anything you want to, but since we're going to go longer on news a lot of the time when there's at least a topic and stuff to talk about, we're not going to go to those Super Chats until the second half of the show, which is basically what we were doing before, but I just want to come out and actually say it so that folks aren't wondering why it's like 45 minutes before their Super Chat gets answered. Don't worry, we'll get there, and if you have to go back and listen to the show later because you can't be here for the whole time, if you put in a Super Chat, I promise you, your question will get answered later in the show. If your Super Chat is about the topic that we're currently talking about, Jayson will make sure that we get that in as part of that conversation. Does that make sense? Everybody get what we're doing? Okay. And now for the insane news. The insane Geekvolution news.
The insane Geekvolution news.
Are you ready? Are you guys ready for this?
I don't even know.
I don't even...
So, I am so depressed that DJ is leaving that I decided to give myself more work to do. I wanted to make this kind of an event, and like DJ leaving, and we're never going to talk to him again. I've deleted his phone number already. No, I'm kidding.
I don't even think you have my phone number. We talk on Facebook.
I think I do. I think I got it, unless you changed it. I think I got it once or at some point going to your house. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you probably had.
Regardless, no.
I mean, you've been on my trampoline, so
that's true. That's true. We've had a we've had an intimate relationship. So I've been on his trampoline.
Patreon, guys, only $2 a month. You can check it all out. It's way back in the archives, but it's there.
You got to come on it After Dark at some point soon, though, because some of that talk is just not lewd enough without you. I've decided.
That's true. I got to bring it back. I got to bring the heat. I also brought the shirt, the iconic shirt.
Yes.
Had to get the iconic cup. Had to get it all.
Oh no!
One last ride.
What happened to her?
This show has been brutal to her.
Did she get all beat up in a?
It's just cheap.
It's
just
fight?
a cheap theater cup.
Oh, okay.
It's just falling apart.
I figured it probably happened in your dishwasher.
No, we don't even dishwash this. It doesn't even fit. She's too big. She's got a big fat head.
Her big fat glorious head, though. Okay. So I am gonna do something nuts, and I want to give myself a timetable for this, but a realistic timetable. And because we're working on the movie, and I'm streaming a lot, and I will probably have to take a week and take a few streams off in order to do this. But I will promise this by at least the end of September.
It's this.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Do you think I can work this in by then?
We literally just talked about this, and I'm like,
yeah.
What is it?
Do you think I can work that in with the big Lawrence shoot and all that for the movie?
By the end of September? Yeah.
I feel like I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it.
All right.
I believe in you.
We have a super chat goal tonight.
I always have.
Ooh.
And if we don't meet it, I will offer this again, but it will be sometime down the road. Could be a couple weeks, could be a couple months. So, if you want me to definitely do this, it's gonna be the super chat. I say a couple weeks. Nah, if we don't hit it, I'll wait a couple of months before I bring this up again. I've been kicking this around for a long time, DJ, and you have forced my hand, sir. All right, so
well, you guys can all thank me for this happening, because I don't even know what it is, but it's all thanks to me.
Let's set the super chat goal tonight at. I don't know. I feel like it's I don't want to be nuts, but I feel like it has to be a pretty good number. Don't you think?
Yeah.
For what I'm talking about doing.
$7,000.
Should we go 150, or is that too steep?
That's a little too steep. Well, I think that's a little too steep.
Okay, I'm gonna say 125.
125.
We're gonna do a super chat goal tonight. By the end of the 2 hours, if we hit 125, I will write a new scripted superhero rewind.
Whoa!
And
as a love letter to me.
And it will be on Logan.
Oh wow! That's amazing. Let's hear it, guys. Austin says $1 million.
It is. I have not done one in over 2 years. Has it been 2 years or 3 years since the Justice League one? And a lot of it is life stuff. It's having a lot of kids. It's a baby in the house. It's all these things. But I can't monetize them. They take a lot of hours out of the week. And it's just really difficult to prioritize them with everything else we do. Because, like I said, I'm always juggling the business side of this and the fun side of this. And so I will promise one if we can hit that goal tonight.
I will promise fireworks if we hit that goal.
and that's not me saying I'll never do one if we don't hit that. But that's how you can guarantee that one will happen. Is I may every now and again offer this if this goes well. Anyway, and the Superhero Rewind commentary project will continue. Logan will happen on that. We're gonna try to hit every superhero movie ever made on that, or as close to it as we can. But this is movies I really want to do a deep dive on, and you guys can make it happen. Anyway, 125 is the super chat goal. Is everybody ready for the news?
The news.
are we
That was
ready?
the best news we've heard all year. So
Yeah, it all goes downhill from that.
good luck
from that.
following up that.
Really?
marvel.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm trying to figure out this new format. Before we hit news, I want to open every show with a Patreon question if we have Patreon questions.
Oh,
so
we do.
let's do one of those first, and then we'll start talking about Comic-Con, and we'll just hit as many of those as we can. And we may have to, since we spent 20 minutes flogging DJ for leaving. We're maybe gonna need that to bleed over into the second half a little bit, but.
Man, he's hitting you with a lot of rules, Jayson.
Yes.
You're learning right on the job.
Well,
It's like
we talked
crash
about
course.
We talked about everything but this. I
But
came up with
this,
this at the last minute. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just start from the top, and then we'll. So you said we do one at the start.
At the start.
And then we do news.
Yes.
And then we'll do more. Sorry.
We should
we'll
have had
do more
a
in the
meeting.
second hour.
We should have had a better meeting. Yeah.
We'll do more in the second.
Yeah.
hour.
People are leaving now. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. This is from One Reply, and he says, "Here's a question for you, Jayson." Oh boy. The X-Men have been challenged to a dance battle by the Brotherhood. You can choose up to 5 mutants for the X-Dance crew. Which would you choose to give them the best chance of winning, and why? Oh gosh, I haven't even thought about this yet.
Why'd you ask yourself it?
I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, it's gonna be Jubilee, because we all know she can dance from
We all do.
X-Men
We all
97.
It's true.
Um,
Well, all of us that
5?
watched that know that.
5?
5 is a lot. Yeah.
5 is
and
a
it,
lot.
does it have to be like any X-Men?
Yeah.
Does that have to be
any
from that
X-Men.
show?
Any X-Men. It's just the X-Dance crew.
Okay. Well, I will ask. I will let you answer the question. But then, if you need help, I have ideas.
Aha. Okay. It's gonna be Jubilee. It's gonna be Morph. I feel like that would be cool.
Morph. Oh yeah, because he could keep changing different. Well, and he did that in that.
Yeah.
See, this is cheating because we got to see X-Men dance. In
Okay.
97.
I'm gonna do different though.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I'm not super familiar with X-Men outside of the show, but I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
do something outside of the show. Okay, Kitty Pryde. Because of her like monster guys, they can like dance around her.
I'm pretty sure we see her dance in Evolution too.
Oh,
I think she dances,
I think she
in, the
dances
intro
in the
of that.
opening
In the
credits,
opening
yeah.
credits.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that in a minute. Okay.
He's picking X-Men we've seen dance.
I think
Yeah.
we've seen all of those X-Men dance at some point at a party. It's like Smallville.
And then I'm not sure who else could.
Okay, well,
Do it.
I feel like an obvious answer is Dazzler.
Well, yeah, Dazzler. That's
There
true.
you go.
That's true. That's true.
It's kind of an but we need to get some more men in here, probably.
I would go Beast, because if you've played X-Men X Dimension, the fighting game, he is just a straight up Eddie clone from Tekken. He's doing capoeira the whole time, which is dance fighting. So throw Beast in there.
Yeah.
Do a little break dancing.
Yeah.
Some
Cool.
handstands.
Yeah.
Well, there's 5.
Yeah.
That's good. I was going to say Iceman could probably do some fun things.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
true. Or Archangel.
You just knock people over. Like,
Uh,
if it's just a dance-off, sure, but if he is at, like, a rave surrounded by people,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know about that so much.
Just slicing people's arms off with his metal wings. It could be like that horrible Fantastic Four Rise of Silver Surfer scene.
Everybody, give me just a second. You're gonna see a black screen because
Ooh.
I just realized that I
Going
haven't
dark.
yet. So let's start with some depressing news. I wanted to open with this because DJ will actually have opinions about this. So this was not from Comic-Con, but it happened recently, and we haven't tackled it yet. This is Bounding into Comics, and their headline for this is Hasbro gives up on Power Rangers as franchise's costumes props are to be liquidated at heritage auctions. I've been seeing some pushback on this with people saying, well, just because they're getting rid of all the costumes and props doesn't necessarily mean that they won't make a show. And we know that they've been shopping around because Netflix didn't take their concept. They've been shopping a Power Rangers reboot around to other streamers and stuff, but there hasn't been any news about that since that was announced a couple of months ago, and I don't know if they're going to get any takers. I don't know how hard they're even working at it. Like usually when this kind of thing happens, like the timing is more than suspicious, right? Like they're going to get rid of everything. You'd think you'd maybe want to hang on to some of that in case you reboot, like included in the iconography, where you would want to use any props or costumes or anything. So I think it's kind of fair of bounding it into comics to say giving up. Furthermore, it was made pretty clear recently that Hasbro had no plans whatsoever when they bought Power Rangers, and a lot of people internally didn't even realize they had it when they like just as they were getting it. So they're flying real blind with that, and the worry right now from the fan base is that it's kind of done unless they ever sell it.
Jeez. What happened? I thought everything was going great. I thought the last two things they did were so successful.
Is that being facetious or?
No, I mean I thought you liked the last two Power Ranger things.
I was the only one though. The fan base retaliated really hard. It sounded like with Cosmic Fury. I was pretty happy with it, but a lot of people apparently did not like it.
Really?
Yeah.
You are my window into the fan base, so I
thought people liked Once and Always.
People did like the special, and what was for a second I didn't know what you meant by the last two things. People did like the special, and the big thing I was surprised by is that Netflix didn't go ahead with a reboot with the success of that. I would have thought at the very least Netflix might have come back with, no, we don't want a reboot, we want more of that, because the numbers were really good. So like there was a lot of talk maybe they'll do some kind of a sequel.
What if that's what they did and Hasbro just didn't like it?
Yeah, well, and the fact that they're selling all the suits and stuff means that'll never happen now.
Right.
Because I don't see them, building all that from the ground up. The only thing that is possible is that they're now talking about what you and I said they should do, which is animation. They won't need physical props and costumes for that. So there's a ray of hope, because a lot of the fan base has also been pretty vocally talking about wanting animation, and they might be listening to that. And maybe they've decided that's the ticket, and they shop that at an Amazon or a Hulu or something. And I could see Amazon biting on an animated Power Rangers, but I also could have seen Netflix biting on that. I mean, how does Netflix make like all the animes they've been doing, and have like Transformers, which is also Hasbro, and Castlevania and all of that, and say no to Power Rangers? Maybe just because it was live action. But we also don't know what the whole pitch was, because the rumor for a long time was that they wanted to do 4 or 5 different unrelated projects for different audiences. And it might have been that Netflix just said, yeah, that's all too big, we don't want to pay for all of that. Maybe if they pitched them just an animated show that wouldn't cost all that much money, they would have said, oh yeah, sure. It fits too well for them. They had... What was that show? They've got so much animation like that. I'm sorry, I can't think of it. What's the other show that they have with the transforming robots that they had for several seasons? I can't think of it.
I don't remember.
It had merchandising and everything. Like it did pretty well for them for a while. My mind is blanking. I can't think of it.
GoBots.
It's not GoBots.
They should bring it back.
Nicholas Bodo animated Power Rangers would go hard. I think it could potentially do really well, but anyway, all right. Well, we can move on unless you guys want to cry some more about that. I don't know that there's much more to say besides. I mean, do you guys agree with me? It sure looks pretty dead.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I mean, you were super pumped. You're excited about more things after you like those last two things. I don't know. That is. But hey, maybe it's good that it goes out on top,
Dad,
and it doesn't
just
go the way of the Star Trek.
At least if you're me. No,
or you were thinking of like a specific Transformers.
No. It's not Transformers. There's another animated show they had
Voltron?
that was a Voltron. That's what it was. Yeah, and I just couldn't think of it. But yeah, they had a Voltron reboot that did really well for them. That everyone's told me I would hate, but it did pretty well. The animation looked cool. All right, moving right along. Well, as we know, Robert Downey very predictably is going to be playing Dr. Doom. We all saw this coming.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get back into the weeds with that. We did an hour show, John and I, last weekend about that whole thing. But the only thing I'll say about that is, we still don't know for sure what the connection, if any, will be with Tony Stark. Marvel is swearing up and down that he's playing Victor Von Doom and trying to make it seem like it's not any kind of a variant. But if there's no connection at all, I would be really kind of surprised. And the one big thing I didn't say on that show about this is, or maybe I did, but I don't think I emphasized it the way I should have. The bigger issue for me with this so far is just that they already told us about it. Like, if he showed up in that movie and we didn't know who was playing him, or they just waited a lot later to let us know about it, I don't think you would have necessarily the backlash from the fan base if they pulled it off right, because we don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know how gimmicky the thing is, but a lot of people are calling it desperate. A lot of people think it does sound really gimmicky. Some people are even upset that, calling it whitewashing and saying like it's a race issue, because people saying it shouldn't just be another. I saw an article today that said Hollywood white guy. I don't know what Latvarians are supposed to look like, but apparently people are finding old comics and things saying no, he's supposed to be ethnic. He's always been played by a white guy before, but now people are upset about this. And I've even seen some speculation that maybe more of the issue from some people is that movie was originally supposed to be Kang, and we got rid of Kang, and so now we're going back to super rich white guy that we had before because he's popular, and maybe it's whitewashing him that way. I don't know. I don't really have a dog in that whole thing. It's obviously a really bizarre pick any way you slice it, and I would think that you would want to surprise your audience with it instead of. I don't know why they didn't expect the backlash, I guess is what I'm saying. It's really odd they didn't seem to think that there was going to be any backlash from this. It's also going to make buckets of money. I don't think it's a business mistake that they're in dealing with that backlash. But I think people would have still gone to that movie if it was just we have Doctor Doom, we don't know who's playing him, or if you announced Downey is coming back and you didn't say who was playing. You could have done that, because a lot of people were expecting him to play a variant of Tony Stark in either this movie or Secret Wars anyway. So just say he's coming back, and you wouldn't have been able to hide that, everybody, because we just got this information. This is a Variety article. Thanks to Austin for pointing this out to me. Behind Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers' mega Avengers paydays. So apparently Robert Downey is had a lot of demands in coming back. The reason we're getting the Russos is because the only way Downey would come back is if they were directing it, and and Marvel got them to do it. So that's the first thing he said. I won't come back if they're not directing. That's why they're directing. So a lot of us said that looks like a desperate move. They weren't even going to have them directed. It's because they wanted Downey. Whether it's just for Doom or likely also for a Tony Stark or something that's combining those things, whatever. But here's the crazy thing. Reportedly, the Russos are going to be making $80 million for this, and Downey is commanding significantly more. And they're not saying what the number is.
Wow. Yeah, this movie's going to cost $1 bazillion and probably not look great because all the money's going to go to Robert Downey. And did you see
that's a good point.
That meme about Harrison Ford? Have you seen the pictures of him at the convention where he's showing more expression than he showed in the last 70 years of his life?
He's acting super excited about playing Red Hulk, even though a couple months earlier somebody asked him about Red Hulk, and he was like, "What's a Red Hulk?"
Money, baby. How much money do you think they had to pay him to act like a fool on stage?
Yeah, he was.
You think it was $80 million?
He was like,
probably not.
He was like, I didn't expect him to be red. I'm like,
oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, I wanted
he knows anything
him
about
to
comics.
be green, and it's like,
well, and you know, I could do a whole rant about this, but I'll just say it here real quick. Reporters need to stop asking Harrison Ford geeky questions. Like, everybody needs to finally get the memo. He doesn't know about this stuff. He doesn't care. And also, the majority of especially older actors in Hollywood are that way. They don't know the source material for this stuff. They come in because it pays well and maybe the script is interesting. Or the idea is interesting. I don't mean that none of these guys like science fiction or even superhero stuff. I just mean that a lot of them didn't start with an interest in this stuff. Again, particularly if they're over a certain age. And I saw this interview, again, Austin sent me this. I saw this interview the other day where somebody asked him about the... I'm trying to remember what it's called. Oh yeah, the anchor point thing from it's a minor spoiler from the new Deadpool movie. But it introduced this idea of anchor points, where if a character, and I think this is so dumb, it works in that movie in like a farcy parody way, but I need it to not be mythology. This idea that there are like anchor point beings in universes, and if they die, eventually your universe will die. And I was like, could somebody let Marvel know that everybody dies? Like, that idea doesn't make any sense. It's like, so the universe has existed for thousands or millions of years. I mean, yeah, millions of years before this character exists, and that if that character dies, eventually, couple thousand years down the line, the universe will die. Everybody dies. Anyway, so somebody asked him about that, and they were like, who do you think the anchor point for? Was it like Indiana Jones universe, or was it just real life? I can't remember, but it was asking the anchor point thing, and then she even felt the need to mention the 616 universe, like he would know what that means, and then he goes, "Oh, I'm in universe 616." Like, I didn't know that. And then she asked about the anchor point thing, and he just goes, yeah, that's over my head, and he walks off.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That was great.
She probably knew. She probably was just trying to get a funny clip so that she could get a little 15 minutes of fame on the internet for half
worked.
a day.
It probably worked. For anybody just coming in, we're going through San Diego Comicon Roundup news right now. We're going to hit as many of these things as we can. Before the hour is up, we'll do a lot of Q&A in the second hour, and we have a Super Chat goal tonight of $125. If we hit that goal, I am promising to write a new scripted rewind that I will try to get out by the end of September. And it will be on Logan. So if you really want to see that, help us out with Super Chats tonight, and I will occasionally offer that when I feel like writing one. I have been kicking around coming back and doing one, but I'm not promising doing it regularly again for lots of different reasons. But when there's a thing I really want to do a deep dive on, I will make it a Super Chat goal and see if there's interest in it. Okay. Yeah. Moving right along.
What else?
So yeah, crazy demands. I forget what else it was. Like, had to be the Russos. Oh yeah, and he had to have some kind of like really fancy building on set that he could hang out in. That was a thing.
What? He had to have them make him an omelet every morning and give him strawberries, but not hand them to him. So
he's got to have a bowl of M&Ms.
Yeah.
This also came out of Comic-Con, and this is like barely news. I'm really hoping this actually happens, but I wanted to tack this on real quick. This is from Gizmodo. The vaunted, good word choice there, the vaunted Schumacher cut of Batman Forever could still see the light of day. During a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, screenwriter Akiva Goldsman confirmed the legendary Schumacher cut of Batman Forever may still see release. A lot of fans have been begging for this ever since Kevin Smith said that he has seen the cut and was talking about, breaking down some of the scenes. Most of what's there is stuff we've known about for years, but I and a lot of other people still would like to get an official release of it. And the reason it hasn't happened yet is, everybody say it with me, Zaslav! Because before the new regime, they were about to get the green light, and it was they were having some traction with it. It looked like it was going to happen, and then Discovery merged with Warner Brothers, and that whole thing fell through. So now Akiva Goldsman is trying to get them to listen to him and to get that made. It would cost $1 million because there are visual effects that have to get finished, and there is some score that has to be reworked and redone, it sounds like. But I think there's actually a fair chance that we'll finally actually see that and get a release for it. I would really like to see that happen.
That's crazy. Well, maybe Zaslav will get usurped, or someone else who's cool will join, will take over. I doubt it.
DJ, I don't know if you've read much from Gizmodo, but I'm going to start looking at this website a little bit more because I'm liking their writing. There's a
writer,
really, really nice snarky thing at the end of this. I'm going to read you guys. This is great. I like how tongue-in-cheek this is. I agree with this guy. Though the price tag may seem steep, Bruce Wayne asked $1 million donation from Warner Brothers. Donation, admittedly, deep pockets might be worth it to see the totality of Val Kilmer's In the Mouth of Madness inspired interplay with a giant humanoid bat. Given the film's vintage, there may even be a way to make it tax-deductible. We know they like that over there. Pretty good.
Top notch. Gotta get Gizmodo to sponsor the show.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I should do that. Okay, now it's time for, I don't know, potential controversy. Is anybody upset about this? It's odd. I'm still, and this adds to it, concerned that the new animated Batman show, Caped Crusader, is just, let's take every villain, but make them the opposite in some way.
Tomorrow.
We now have a third one. Why'd you say tomorrow?
Right? Isn't that tomorrow? Or is
yes, that drops tomorrow.
tomorrow.
And we will try to do a how we felt about on the pilot. Thanks for reminding me of that. I forgot that was tomorrow. I was like, why are you saying that word? He's just like, tomorrow. We will do a how we felt about sometime soon after that on the pilot, and then try to come back and revisit it when the season is over. I am sure. Me and Jayson, maybe John, if I can get him to join, I'll talk to Austin about it. We'll see if we can do it Sunday or Monday for you. But anyway, this is from Boston Globe. Minnie Driver, of all people, voices an iconic Batman supervillain in a new animated series for Amazon Prime. It's like they're letting everybody know the series is even happening. It's like, yes, it's Caped Crusader. We've been talking about this for a while. Here she is, Minnie Driver's female Penguin. This is shaping up to be the year of the Penguin. So we get this, and then a month after that, we get...
I love how it looks.
The beginning of the Penguin TV show for Max. Yeah, she looks cool. I'm still a little bit disappointed in the art design and animation for this whole show, because it just doesn't look as stylized to me as it could have, and it looks like, I've said this before, but it looks like a lot of the DC direct-to-video animated movies. I saw a clip from it today, and like the pacing is great. It's very TAS in animated series, in just the storyboarding and the way it's laid out, and everybody's gonna love that about it. So that's great. But yeah, once again, another villain that has to be the opposite in some way, you know. Yeah. So we have a Two-Face that was a kind of horrible mean DA, and then he gets turned into Two-Face, and then we've got I forget what the other one was. Harley
Quinn, right?
Yeah. You have a Harley Quinn who is real happy-go-lucky, and then she becomes Harley Quinn, and she's like a sad clown. And then now we have a Penguin who used to be a man, but now he's a woman. See, it's the opposite.
They're gonna have a Poison Ivy that was a plant, but now it's a person.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Her name is Oswalda Cobblepot.
Okay.
Which is almost sounds like
That's all you got to do to make a name female. Just add an A at the end.
Just add an A. Sounds like a joke to me.
Chocolate Factory.
What, Wanda Wonka?
No, like Grandpa Joe, Grandma Josephine.
Oh yeah, right, Josephine.
Georgina, Grandpa and Grandpa George. Like they're very uncreative in the Bucket household with names.
That's
but
true.
No, I mean the Penguin is like literally the villain that gender least matters. Like, he just hobbles around. He's like a big fat guy who just hobbles around anyway. So like, what does it matter? It's not like, I don't know. It's not really tied to his gender. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, I'm not even against it on principle. It's just, it sounds like we're trying too hard to make everything as different as possible. With here's the reason that I have a little bit of resistance to that, or reservation about that. You're taking Batman back to a 30s period piece, and that immediately makes it feel like it should be real definitive and iconic. And then you're taking all of the real, beloved, iconic characters, and you're trying to, flip them and make them different and weird in some way. And so it's starting to shape up to look like a real Elseworlds kind of thing.
Which I don't know.
I wish they'd taken it kind of more back to brass tacks. And I don't think there's any kind of agenda here, and I don't mean even politically. I don't think there's any kind of a strategy in all of this to try to get eyes on it. I think it's Bruce Timm being bored. I think that's all this is. He goes, do you have any idea how long I worked on Batman? I really don't want to do the same thing over and over again. And the reason, I don't know if you guys know this, but the reason the show happened in the first place is, and it's so ironic because then it didn't go to Max and it went to Amazon, but Warner's went to him and said, we want a revival of Batman the Animated Series. And he said, well, I'll do a Batman show, but I'm not doing more of the same. I'm not going to come back and do what we did before. And so that's how this show happened in the first place. I would just like to see something kind of more back to basics. And this is that, but it's not that. And that's my reservation about it. I bet it'll be great.
Yeah. Imagine how much more they would have pushed him if they had started after X-Men 97 came out. Like, they might have said, no, you have no choice. You have to make another season after that. After that was so popular, like, we'll get someone else. We need to do another season.
That's what I was going to say. They maybe could have gotten a different producer that was on that show that's not Bruce Timm and be like, we'll do it without Bruce Timm.
Yeah, we just need season 6 or whatever. I don't know what season. I don't know how many seasons of that show. There were 4, I think.
Yes, technically there are 4. John, I just wanted a traditional Batman show. It's been so long. That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, that boredom causes some inspiration, and they do good things with it. I mean, a character a female in the 30s becoming a mob boss would have a much harder time and a much better story potentially. Especially a deformed one who had like a deformed appearance is much more of a problem for a female than a male. So they could do good things with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that she's not like a slender femme fatale looking character. Like I like that she still looks like the Penguin.
Yeah, hopefully they do interesting things with it, and it's not just for the sake of being different.
Oswalda Cobblepot.
Oswalda.
That's like 2 kids in a trench coat are pretending to be their mom, and they're like going, and they're like, what? Oh, we're Bobby. Like it's like
Bobby.
You just add an A at the end of it. That's all you can think of.
Bobby is sometimes a female name though.
Yeah, there you go. That's more creative than Oswalda. Is Oswalda even a name?
Probably not.
Nope.
Probably not. Yeah, it sounds like a joke. Jayson, have we had any super chats about anything we've talked about so far? I just want to make sure that we don't miss anything.
We have not.
Okay, cool. That's all other stuff for later. Folks wanted me to talk about the Comicon trailer leak for Fantastic Four, and I did get to see it. I don't always talk too much about these until we get the actual release of them, because not everybody gets a chance to see it. Comicbookmovie.com, and I'm sure lots of other places, have a breakdown of what exactly is in the trailer, kind of beat for beat. Same thing with Thunderbolts. If you care about that, that sounds terrible so far. They've got a bit in the trailer. I did not see the leak for that, but I read the breakdown, and guys, there's a place in the middle of that trailer that says, be careful who you assemble.
Oh God, I'm always assembling people by accident. Hate when that happens.
Watch out who you assemble, DJ. Anyway, so I'll talk a little bit. I'm not gonna do what's up.
We did just get a super chat about Caped Crusader, and we just finished talking about.
Yeah,
it.
we can hit that first, and then
Yeah.
don't be so timid about it, Jayson.
Yeah, sorry. It's. Yeah.
You're all, hey, this is your
Too many
this
people.
performance is everything's riding on this, Jayson. This is your first day on the job.
It
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, if you don't do well with this, I'm gonna call up DJ later and grovel.
Robert Wild has
You have to come back.
Robert Wild has a $2
You can
guys
pick
superchat,
the news,
and
we'll just do the show. We'll just do your own live show a second time.
yeah. We got a $2 super chat from Robert Wild, and he says the Catwoman in Caped Crusader seems traditional.
So far, I don't think we know
So
anything about
far,
her background or anything.
Yeah.
But no, that's true. And she's actually going to be a villain, so that's good.
Yeah.
He's right. I mean, fair point there.
She did like Bruce Wayne.
But it's just looking like such an alternate, yet another kind of alternate history thing.
Yeah.
It's okay to have traditional Batman. But I also get Bruce Timm being boring, which is why, I don't know. I mean, I want to say maybe he should have said no, but if the show's great, I'm not going to say that. I'll be glad I'm
And
watching
Tom Atkins says, "Watch out who you league with."
it. I mean, both things can be true, right? Like, I can be disappointed that this is what they're making and then love it. You know? I kind of had that a little bit with my adventures with Superman, where I didn't love the color palette. I didn't necessarily need, like, a full-on anime-style Superman show, but what you gonna do? It's great. You know? So, just because, you know, I come in and I go, I'm disappointed this doesn't look great, and then later on I review it and I say it's really good, you know, that made me a hypocrite. You can't say I told you so. It's like, and that's why sometimes I feel the need to say, I hope it wins me over. I just am not sure right now.
I mean, yeah, I don't judge anything anymore because I was, like most of us, down on the whole concept of Into the Spider-Verse, and then it's like my favorite superhero movie ever now, so I can't judge any book by its cover anymore.
That's why DJ has no opinion. Every piece of news sucks, and then maybe he'll like it, but as of right now, he's like, I don't know.
I turn into Oswald a Cobblepot.
Oswald. Oh boy! All right, I'm gonna mention just a couple things about the leaked Comicon trailer. We will get this, I'm sure, in the not too distant future, and then I can talk about it a little bit more when everybody gets to see it. Absolutely everything so far about Fantastic Four, with the exception of the female Silver Surfer, which I still have natural reservations about, sounds perfect and lovely and wonderful, and it's looking more and more like the movie I always wanted and thought was impossible to get. I never, especially MCU the way it is now, I could never have imagined, like, period piece Fantastic Four, like, with a kitschy, stylized style that's all about retrofuturism. We see the Fantasticar in the trailer. We get our first look at Galactus. We just kind of a cool shot of his eyes, but it looks great. And we're getting more about the premise. So we know that the Fantastic Four are going into space, and then they find Galactus out there. It isn't that they come here first. And we've got some fun stuff like Ben Grimm, and I think maybe Reed Richards also, I can't remember, going on a period game show, like a dating game show, which is really fun. We also know that the whole thing is going to be in 4:3 aspect ratio.
Is it Guess My Crime?
Yes, it's Guess My Crime.
What's
DJ.
my crime?
But yeah, it's also in a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Which is
Oh,
really
nice.
cool.
Because these guys love messing around with that kind of thing. Like they're taking everything I loved about WandaVision and applying it to this.
At least this will make sense. Not when they do it in Spider-Man: Homecoming and he's recording with a freaking iPhone.
Yeah.
Why is it 4:3? It makes no sense. It's an iPhone. They're 16:9.
I thought you were gonna say this time it'll make sense, unlike the Snyder cut. I don't know why that was in 4:3.
I will say though,
more super heroic poses thing. I don't know why I'm doing a George Lucas for. I don't know what Zack Snyder sounds like. Never heard of that.
That was an excellent somebody else impression, DJ.
Yeah, there we go.
I will say
that's what I think. Zac Efron. I can't say. This is why I'm leaving. I can't keep anything straight.
They're not gonna let you leave now. This is too entertaining.
I will say I was talking about this with you. I don't want this movie to be like WandaVision, where it is, it breaks away from the 60s thing, like, halfway through, or, like, after the first act, and it's like, oh, man, multiverse stuff. I want it to be more like the first Captain America movie, where it's set in the 60s for the whole thing, and they have their story, and then they go to Earth at the end. And it's
They go to our Earth at the end.
They go to our Earth at the end, and it's...
And
exactly.
that's what I want.
After the credits.
Well, but I was going to say, even if they do it like First Avenger, where it's just the last scene, you can't begrudge them that, because you know they're going to be, and they've already announced that the Fantastic Four are in both of the new Avengers movies. They'll be in Doomsday, and which is so weird to say now because it's just a Superman villain. But okay, they're gonna be in Avengers Doomsday, and
Part 1's Doomsday, Part 2's Dark Side.
If they, Part 2 is Funeral for a Friend. But if they could economically introduce their coming over to our universe at the end of that, and we don't have to spend very much time in Doomsday with it, that will probably be nice for that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can take that movie and just watch that one and not have to think about any of the Avengers stuff, that would be great. That's what I want. I'm with you, Jason. Yeah. And the other big thing I need from that movie is I need it to play it straight as much as they can. I'm so sick of like the meme humor infecting every movie I watch. Disney has been doing it's been so self-aware since Frozen. I can't handle it anymore. Just let them. They don't need to be so freaking self-aware. Like, I'm so sick of it. Just play it straight. That's the only way that's going to work. The 60s, like you said, retrofuturism thing, they have to play it straight.
I want the next Avengers movie after Secret Wars to be Avengers Bane.
Avengers Nightfall?
Avengers Nightfall, yeah.
The Avengers No Man's Land? There's a big problem, and like I have a huge caveat, DJ, with how much I really ended up enjoying Deadpool and Wolverine. Because that movie is the ultimate answer to everything wrong with MCU right now. And the lesson they should learn from that is that we've gone to such a self-parody place with it that we can't do any of it anymore. Like, what's so great about Deadpool and Wolverine, and minor spoilers for that movie for folks that haven't had a chance to see it yet, and DJ hasn't seen it yet, but what's great about that movie is that Deadpool just completely dresses down the multiversal phase and says, this isn't working, and we've had all of these disappointments, and it's time to rethink the whole thing. And he says that in an MCU movie. It's wonderful. He tells Wolverine he's coming in at a low point. I mean, it's fantastic. And he's also making fun of the cameo parade and all of the reverential humor. That universe, through Ryan Reynolds' voice, admittedly, has now come out and said that has run its course. And they can't do it anymore. And I'm worried that as much as I love that movie, when they come back and they start playing that stuff earnestly again, it's going to make it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
You're going to have this like postmodern MCU humor thing now, where they're going to double down on it. Is my worry, and not learn the right lessons from that movie.
Yeah, especially if Deadpool makes a ton of money, they're like, oh. That's what, yeah. When does Hollywood ever learn the lesson that that did really well, we did it. We don't need to do it again. Never. That's not what they take.
And is the reason that movie is doing well because of what I think is pretty smart satire of all of that stuff, or is it for the reason that other things they've made, like No Way Home, have made money and that stuff is in there, and it's more of a superficial thing? Yeah, probably. I mean, they're not likely to learn the right lessons from that, and that's what I'm really worried about. Is that like they've proven why you can't do it anymore by doing it to the nines. That should be the end of it.
That's pretty brilliant, though, to have your cake and eat it too like that. It's like, we're gonna make fun of you nerds, but you nerds are still gonna like it. Like that's pretty brilliant.
That's
as much as I'm not super interested in that movie. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not telling you have to see it, but I was surprised by that. I really and the fact that just they let him do it. Because I mean, he's just constantly throughout that movie telling the MCU
does it
why
feel
they suck
like it was
now. It's great.
Basically directed by Ryan Reynolds. Like,
yes.
Does it feel like a Sean Levy movie at all, or is like, I feel like Sean Levy's never really made a great movie. Like, I feel like he just brought him in because he's probably pals with him and he thought he could. Because they did that sci-fi movie together a couple of years ago. He probably was just
and they did Free Guy.
Oh yeah. So he was like, yeah, we're friends. It'll be fun to do this. And
that is why they did it together. Austin when we talked about it, made a big deal out of how good it looks despite that director. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and it's the best action you've had in an MCU movie in a really long time. Yeah,
I wonder who they got to do the action design. They probably just got somebody, but yeah, because he's like the Night at the Museum guy, Real Steel guy. Like,
yes,
he's not. I don't think he's ever done anything that people love. But,
no, and it's really cinematic. I mean, it's the best looking movie they've made since Guardians 3.
Interesting. I'll have to look up who they got to do the action. No, that's cool. I'm glad you guys liked it. I didn't watch the stream, but you guys talked for like 3.5 hours, so I was like, holy crap.
We had a lot of engagement in that stream, yeah. Well, and it was also a 5-man panel.
Yeah, those always add up.
I should never do that.
Of guys.
Even having three people tonight is too much. We're already at an hour. We're gonna go ahead and take our break, and when we get back, we'll hit a couple more pieces of news here that people wanted me to talk about. I'll probably fly through a couple things I wanted to mention real quick. Somebody wanted me to talk about the Star Trek stuff. That'll just be me screaming into the wind. But I'll mention a couple things just real briefly, because if I don't,
because it doesn't make any sense. So
if I don't say anything about Section 31, somebody will be like, "How did you not bring up the worst trailer anyone's ever seen for anything?" But anyway, we will see again here in about 3.5 minutes. And just reminding once again, anybody that came in late. We are doing a super chat goal tonight, and we're going to be answering a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of Q&A in the second half. So get in any question about anything you want to, and you can pre-written stuff too. We'll try to answer some of those if we have time. But super chat goal tonight of $125 for me to do a new scripted rewind for the first time in a couple of years on Logan, which I will try to get done by the end of September if we hit that goal. We will see again in just a We'll see you here in 3 minutes. Hey everybody, we are back. It's time for the second half of the Captain Logan show. And once again, if you want to help to get us to tonight's Super Chat goal, I will write a new scripted superhero rewind. I don't know how long it'll be yet, but you guys know me. I'm not brief or anything. But it'll be on Logan, a movie that I've wanted to write about for a long time. And I don't really have time, but I'm going to make time if you guys really want to see that. So anyway, that's what we're doing for the Super Chat goal tonight. And before we get to more news, we're unveiling a brand new segment tonight, the start of the second half. And Jayson is Jason's going to do a segment for us. And Jayson, I think we should call this segment The Next Generation.
The Next Generation. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, I thought Jayson was saying the segment was called "Oh Crap."
Yeah.
Is that not the segment?
Yes.
I was excited about that.
No, it's gonna be. I guess it's gonna be called The Next Generation. Yep. Basically, it's a segment where I talk about whatever I want to talk about for a little bit before we get into Q&A and other news if we didn't finish the news.
Jayson has a lot of interests outside of what we usually talk about, and a lot of things that I don't even know very much about, and so he's going to bring that to the show.
Yeah. So I will talk about, my own news or just discussion, if I want to recommend something to you or whatever. Today, I am going to talk about, I have a list of a few things that have come out that are music-related, that have new music releases in the past month or two. Most of it is in the past month, and just stuff that I care about, and just want to get my feelings of, and there's stuff that came out 4 days ago and stuff that came out two months ago here. So
it won't take too long. Nobody leave.
So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the new Serj Tankian song.
I haven't heard that.
It's called Justice Will Shine On, and it is, I actually really enjoyed this. It feels a lot like a System of a Down song, but has that, still has that solo Serj Tankian shine on it, which and it's gonna.
So it sounds more like System than Elect the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it is a single from his new EP that's gonna come out this fall, and it'll be, I think, his 5th EP, and I wish it was an album, but it's. It'll be a couple more tracks to hopefully put into playlists and stuff. But yeah, it has a good catchy chorus, and I think if you like hard rock and stuff, you should check it out. I think it's a good song. And then
John says he didn't realize Serj did solo stuff.
Yes.
Elect the Dead, I think, is as good or a better record than anything he did with the System of a Down.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard his whole catalog, but Sky Is Over is one of the greatest songs ever written.
Yeah.
Fight me. It's wonderful. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then we got a new single from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
I didn't realize you were keeping up with them.
Yeah, so this is Hog Calling Contest, and this is
somebody requested an album review from them years ago that Eric and I did, and that's the only reason Jayson even knows about these guys.
Did you do that with Eric?
Yes.
Yeah. So and that album's great.
Altered Beast.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the songs.
One of the songs. Yeah.
Murder of the Universe.
That's what it was.
Yeah, but so the single has 2 songs on it. It has Hog Calling Contest and Lyrisk, and they're both songs that are going to be on their new album that I don't remember the Flight something or rather, a bunch of numbers like 439 or something, and I think it's like Flight 439, and it's so the first track, Hog Calling Contest, is kind of, it's very like crowd singing, kind of, you know, 60s rock music. I don't really think the melody fits too well with the backing track. I think they kind of they don't really fit in too well. It kind of goes on for too long, and they just sing the same thing over and over again, and I don't know. It wasn't great. And then the first time I heard Le Risque, I didn't really like that either, but it's kind of grown on me.
Grown on you?
It doesn't really feel like a King Gizzard song, but it does do that like 60s and 70s classic rock throwback thing they do, but in like a different style of that kind of music. So it's more like a those it feels very like Styx the Mission, like some
cool.
of the tracks on that where they're the main guy just goes like, yeah, come on. It's like, okay. So I wasn't.
Oh, okay. It sounded cool for a minute.
I liked. I didn't like it the first time, but it has grown on me. And then I think this will be one of two things that we have both heard.
Okay.
And this one is the earliest thing that I am talking about. This came from 2 months ago, but I had to talk about it. And that is, of course, the new single from The Offspring, Make It All Right.
Yeah.
And that okay. I was actually pretty excited for them having a new album, and I listened to their new single like right when it came out, because I really liked Let the Bad Times Roll. I think that's a great album. Probably top 3 at this point.
You keep up with like the Offspring Reddit.
Yeah, and I listened to that, and immediately my expectations dropped to the floor.
Tanked. Yeah.
This song is not an Offspring song. It is a 90s boy band song from like the mid 90s, and I don't know why. And then they have that stupid like, all I want to do is to fly away with you, and I'm like, stop. And like that stupid girl voice is like louder than the rest of the song, and it doesn't fit at all, and I didn't like it. It didn't sound like an Offspring song, and I'm really hoping, especially with an album cover that mirrors Metallica Ride the Lightning, I'm hoping that the rest of the album doesn't sound like that. But yeah, there's that, and then the big release from this month came out a couple weeks ago, and I will talk about this briefly, and that is the new Eminem album, Death of Slim Shady. It is, the whole point of it is just he's, taken on the Slim Shady moniker again, and he's pretending to be the old him again. And
how does that work out?
Okay, so it's this really weird mix-match hodgepodge of like old sounding melodies from him and like new sounding melodies, and it doesn't, I don't think, especially for like, it's supposed to be a concept album, and it doesn't even, I don't think it fits together too well. I don't think the album mixes together as a whole very well. There are some really annoying tracks on there, and there are a little too many features. Like there's like 5 in a row, and I'm like, stop. Where it's just some random other person, and I'm like, really? And then and I like that I like that he's going back to his old like style of rapping, but it feels like, oh, remember when my music was good? And it's like he's just kind of redoing the same stuff that he was doing. And it's like, I get it. You think Christopher Reeves dying is funny. It's like, okay.
What?
Yeah, he kept doing that in his old career, and he started doing it again because it's like, oh, and
okay, hilarious.
Yeah, because it's like he's Superman, but he died from a horse.
Well, he didn't die from a horse.
but he got, you know.
And very few people in history have died from a
He
horse.
didn't die from
like
a
a
horse,
news-
but he fell off a
news
horse
segment.
and got. But it's.
Sounds like a horse gave you a disease and
yes.
now you're dead.
Yes.
Tonight at 8, Superman dies from horse.
Yeah. So it had some good tracks on it, but
I feel like I've almost died from horse a few nights doing this show when we go over 2 hours.
That's true. Yeah, that's
It's
dying
pretty brutal.
from being a horse, not dying from a horse.
from being a horse.
Braden Atkinson says you're wrong, Jason.
I like.
He says it's a
I
really
will
good
say-
deconstruction
okay.
of Slim Shady versus Marshall Mathers.
Now I will say I really liked
How do you feel being
Guilty.
wrong?
Huh?
How do you feel about being wrong?
I don't like his newer stuff, and I don't think
Hot
that.
Soup backs Braden up, so you're getting ganged up
Okay,
on
I
here.
will say it is his best album since Relapse. Well, okay, I don't like Relapse, so I think it's his best album since Recovery. Well,
This is a new show.
I don't know.
Jason
I don't
versus
know.
the people.
I don't know.
We might have to change the name of this segment.
Change it back to oh crap.
Yeah,
That's appropriate.
but
The wrong generation.
Play
the
tomatoes.
there were a couple tracks that I did really like. I really liked Guilty Conscience 2. I liked how instead of it just being some random robber at a gas station and it's like his guilty conscience it's Marshall Mathers' guilty conscience and his guilty conscience is Slim Shady and he's talking to himself.
I may once
a-
again be a terrible father. I'm not sure.
And then my favorite track was Brand New Dance because I'm a big my favorite Eminem album is Eminem Show and it definitely felt like a track from that. But overall, I'm not gonna listen to this album again. It was annoying and I didn't like it as an album. I liked things from it, but yeah. And then the last
Austin
thing
says he did not expect an Eminem album review.
That's
Neither
what
did
you can
I.
expect from the new Captain Logan show, guys. It's wow, it's going to be crazy.
And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is the other thing that we have both heard that came out a week ago, and that is Polka Mania, Weird
Yes!
Al.
Yeah, I saw that day. I didn't even bother sending it to you because I'm like, he already knows about this. Of course
Yeah.
he does.
I did.
and it's
I watched it at 8 a.m. that morning.
yeah, me too. And it's his first polka in 10 years, and it's really cool seeing a polka that covers songs from the last 10 years, and just seeing how, and he kind of goes backwards with it too, which is pretty cool. Where he does later songs, and then he goes all the way back to 2015. I think it's I think it's pretty good. I think he could have done a little bit more to make it stand out more. I think some of his song picks were hilarious.
It's
I
pretty.
laughed out
It's
loud.
pretty by the numbers.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things in modern, if I can call it, Weird Al history, where I thought the video really enhanced it. Where because I've never had that with a polka. I needed the visuals with that, and they were really creative with all the different animators they went to.
Yeah.
For stuff, and some deep pulls, just guys that you haven't seen anything from in a million years, and that was all really cool. But and some of it is just kind of saddled with whatever the popular music is, and popular music sucks now and has for a lot longer than 10 years, in my opinion, a lot of it. So he's kind of stuck with those songs, and so and there are some things people were disappointed that he didn't put in over others, and a lot of his stuff I don't even know. But at least half those tracks I had heard, those songs I had heard before.
Yeah, I think, well, and I had heard all of them, so, because I grew up in
Well,
in the
you're
dance
of
world.
the next generation.
I grew
Yeah.
up.
I'm in the dance world, which means I hear a lot of those songs,
Right.
too. So, yeah. I think him trying to do Despacito and stuff like that, I think that's funny,
It is.
but, yeah. I think that is the extent of my section. I think I'll get better at this as we go along.
Oh, you're good, man.
Yeah.
No, I can tell you're slightly nervous, but that was wonderful. No, well done, buddy.
Wow. Musical musings with Jayson.
Oh boy,
I quite enjoyed it.
I'm not doing that every week.
No, it brings so much more to the show. That's stuff we never would have talked about.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Keep it up. Bring us something totally different next week.
Okay.
All right,
We'll do
folks,
that.
we're going to move on to the last couple of articles and trailers I just wanted to hit real briefly, and we'll get to Q&A real fast after this. I'm not going to spend any time on these. I'm just going to mention them real quick. Let's see. I mentioned the Thunderbolts trailer that premiered at Comicon. I haven't seen it. I just read the breakdown, so I'm not going to talk any more about that except to say I'll talk about it when it comes out. But I'm not excited about that. I think that has every chance at bombing. The one thing I was surprised by was finding out that Harrison Ford is in that movie. So he's going to continue as Thunderbolt Ross and be in other movies.
Oh, wow.
So spoiler alert, guess he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't die in real life. That'll be the first character we have to recast twice.
Twice?
Like,
Good
that would be
point.
so awkward.
Yeah, well, they'll bring back somebody that is already in the MCU. You know, like who's somebody that
Bring
was
back
huge?
the original Ross. What's his name? Sam Elliott?
Oh yeah, sure.
Just bring back Sam Elliott.
No, but I was gonna say they'll do the Robert Downey Jr. thing. They'll just bring in a another really big name that has been a like it'll be Chris Evans in old man makeup, but not as old man Captain America.
Just give Sam Elliott his own Logan and just call it Thaddeus.
Or old man Thaddeus. Old man
great.
Thunderbolt Ross. I guess Thunderbolt Ross has to be in it because it's the Thunderbolts. I didn't even think about that. I don't know anything about Thunderbolts. I don't know if that's why it's called that. Like, does Thunderbolt Ross put together that team?
He names it after himself.
Is that what it is? Maybe that's what it'll be in this. Is he like the Amanda Waller for Thunderbolts? It sounds like just their answer to Suicide Squad.
He's just like
Yeah.
he's just their Nick Fury, which makes sense why they would cast the big name.
Because you know the premise of that, right, Jason? It's just a bunch of villains and anti-heroes that they've got laying around that aren't doing anything they can throw together on a team.
Yeah.
That's gonna... And I mean, like, it'll be nice to see Bucky again, don't get me wrong. I mean, hopefully the writing's decent and he can carry it, but that trailer sounds like not a thing anybody's asking for.
I'm
And
not.
weird. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be like Sony Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man bad, but it sounds like it could be like one of those, just a little bit better. I don't know.
AMC Comics says not their most future-proof recasting that.
No, it's really not.
No, that's like playing with fire there. I mean, hey, if he if the worst comes to worst, they do have to recast because he passes away. They can just flip the gender and name her Thaddeosa.
It'd be like
It'll
if
work
they
great.
wanted to if they had planned on making a lot more seasons of Picard and they were going to cancel it, and then Patrick Stewart quit and they went, now we'll make Kirk.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
It'd be exactly like that.
That'll be the first Star Trek thing I ever watched, a show called Kirk.
Star Trek Kirk.
Colon Kirk.
Shatner will never die. And he's even older than Patrick Stewart, but he doesn't seem as senile, so we're going to cast him.
He wants to be a tree.
See, why does it not work with Kirk? It's just a lame name, I guess. Because I could see a show called Spock working, but for some reason,
Kirk.
I don't think any singular name works for a Star Trek show. It sounds really damn lazy. But anyway,
For Star Trek, yeah.
the next thing I wanted to mention just real quick is the second trailer for Hellboy, The Crooked Man, came out. I don't know why they didn't lead with this. That first trailer made it look like a fan film. This looks like a a movie, like an actual, professionally made Hollywood film. And yes, it looks kind of low budget, but intentionally so. It's very much a horror film centered around Hellboy. It's set in the 50s. I either forgot about that or didn't quite get that from the first trailer, but yeah, it's set in the 50s, so it's only a few years after Hellboy originally gets picked up by soldiers in Broome and in World War II, and so he's already grown up, but he's still really young, and they cast him that way, and the makeup's kind of different because of that. But yeah, it looks good. It looks kind of scary. It's not my thing, but I will see it, of course, and I'm not gonna talk about that except to say everybody watch that trailer. If you saw the first one, you thought it looked Connor, it no longer looks like a fan film. Go take a look at that. Well, Star Trek still sucks and still sounds like it's just gonna keep on sucking.
Speaking of Star Trek,
I'll just bring this up just really, really briefly. We're supposed to be getting a new live action. This is from StarTrek.com. A new live action series, a half-hour comedy. It's going to be produced and written partly by Tawny Newsome from Lower Decks.
Oh no!
And, yeah, it sounds very sitcom-y. It's about Federation outsiders, because we can't make a show that's just about people on a spaceship unless it's well, I mean, okay, they do that, but they also do a lot of avoiding that. I'm gonna get myself into trouble. Like, I'm being hyperbolic. Yes, they do that, but even some of their stuff set on a spaceship, they're trying to make as un-Star Trek as possible. They're aiming stuff at, and it's not, and sometimes people will complain that I just can't handle new things and I can't deal with things evolving. It's got to have some hint of the spirit of what the thing was, or you're just using that name to sell a thing. They are still, to this day, after 8 years, trying to sell things to audiences that aren't there, that don't care about Star Trek, and that will never care about Star Trek. And that's what this sounds like. Federation outsiders serving a gleaming resort planet. I wonder if it'll be Risa, Jayson.
Oh, hopefully. Find
out their day-to-day exploits are being broadcast to the entire quadrant.
I want there to
What is this show?
I want there to be a game episode if it's set on Risa.
So it's the Truman Show, but Star Trek? What?
That sounds like the best thing ever.
And then we got the trailer for Section 31 this week that looks exactly like I thought it would, but is freaking out people that didn't watch any Discovery. And I mean, more power to you. Your brain thanks you. But that show... So that movie used to be... It was supposed to be a show, and it was in the works. They were in talks to make this thing for like 3 or 4 years now. At least 3. And they've relegated it down to just a movie, and mercifully so, if for some reason I ever have to watch this thing. It's really sad what they've been doing to Michelle Yeoh, and considering that she has been on such a high lately with all the stuff she's been doing, people have been liking. I still don't get why she likes making this stuff. I don't get why a lot of these people love this really crappy Star Trek they're making, and like maybe they think it's good, but like it doesn't. Most of that writing has never really passed my smell test, and a lot of people have felt that way. I still don't get people that take this stuff seriously. It's very strange. Anyway, it's hard to describe if you haven't watched it, but I can't take most of it seriously. And I don't know how you don't know how schlocky it is. Or maybe you're enjoying it, making it because of how schlocky it is. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, it's the Mirror Georgiou show, where she joins Section 31 and they go off on Suicide Squad looking adventures, and it just looks awful. And once again, for an audience that is not there, and you wouldn't believe the number of thumbs downs to thumbs ups that trailer has. It's hilarious, and all the comments are, not my Star Trek, and this isn't what Section 31 was, and I have to remind them that, yeah, but they've had Section 31 going all the way to the beginning of Lower Decks, and they've never understood what that is, and that they're supposed to be a secret, and that, yeah, it's Black Ops, but, they wouldn't just be walking around and everyone knows about them. Like, everyone's just fine with the fact that there's this really violent section of the Federation, or of Starfleet, that resorts to murder, violence, all kind of underhanded stuff to get the job done, and they still pretend like they live in a utopia, or at least they talk like they think they live in a utopia, but nobody treats each other like they do. It's very bizarre. None of that has ever made any sense to me. Going all the way back to like the 3rd or 4th episode of Discovery, on their ships, and this is set pre-original series, mind you, they have something called Black Alert.
Oh yeah.
For Section 31. It's supposed to be a secret. Anyway, and then finally, for anybody still paying attention to Superman and Lois, it is about to go into its last season, and spoilers for that show, and I have not been keeping up with it, but there was no avoiding finding this out, but, like, major spoilers if anybody cares, but they did ostensibly kill Superman at the end of the third season, and via Doomsday, so they are doing their adaptation of Death of Superman, and the big difference, according to this trailer that I watched, is Doomsday apparently survived it and is off planet, and they're looking for him and trying to find him. It seems like it's what they're doing with it. But yeah, they actually did Death of Superman, and I missed it because I didn't realize it was happening because I'm way behind on that show. So I'll catch up and watch that eventually. But it is interesting that the CW is finally ending its whole superhero run, like everything, not just Arrowverse, but everything. And this is technically not Arrowverse anymore, but it's initially based on that. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, that all started with Smallville all the way back in 2001, and it's ending with a Superman show. And that seems fitting. I guess it's nice that that's happening, especially because that show has been pretty decent, what I've seen of it. People kind of turned on season 3. And I don't know why, because I haven't seen it yet. So that's part of why I haven't caught up, is I'm a little bit leery of it after people complaining about that.
Cyborg Superman.
I'm Cyborg Superman. Oh, real quick, back to Star Trek for a second. People are talking about Robert Picardo being in the other newly announced show that we've known about for a while, but I didn't bring up here, which is the spin-off to Discovery, which is ending this year. They're also ending Lower Decks this year. And they're spinning that off for a 32nd Century Starfleet Academy show. Okay. And Picardo is supposed to be, and I assume he's playing the EMH again, and he's supposed to be a regular in that show, and people are telling me, well, Cap, how are you not excited about that? And I'm like, well, they brought back lots of different characters in Picard. It still sucked. Like, it's, and people love season 3. I got 4 episodes in. I still haven't finished it. I couldn't do it. I still thought it was more or less as bad as it had been. I don't get it. It's like, yay, it's so great to see all these actors back together again with really horrible writing, acting completely out of character, but in what still feels like kind of a dystopian Star Trek world. Anyway, I've lost some viewers because I'm talking about Star Trek again. So I'm gonna move on. But well, we had a bunch of Comicon news with Star Trek, and it all sounds and looks god-awful to me, but good for Robert Picardo. I'm glad he gets to come back and do Star Trek again.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Should we start going through super chats?
We've got to do some Q&A.
I can blow through these.
Let's do it. Well, you might be able to. I don't know if I can.
Yeah. Okay. First question. Well, it might not be a question. I don't know. First super
and guys,
chat.
ask DJ things. He's not going to be here every week anymore.
It's your last chance ever to see me ever again. Except
First
for
super
until
chat.
Monday night.
First super chat, $5 from Tom. He asks, "What was Captain Logan like when he was an ensign, and what would his life look like if he never got promoted? Thank you for your years of service, DJ."
Jeez, feel like I'm in the clink.
Yes, or Dad. What was life like?
Don't worry,
back when you were
I'm gonna make him come right back next week. I was never an ensign. I gave myself that name, that rank, and people just went with it. It was very nice of them. What are you the captain of?
It's a fake.
What are you the captain of? Well, at the time, the Star Trek club I was running. So if I had never been promoted, it would mean that I was never self-indulgent enough to name myself captain.
Yeah.
So I would probably seem less arrogant, I think, is the answer to that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't own a sign that says the captain is always right and I am the captain. That's the answer to that. I do own that sign.
You do.
And I would not have bought that sign. It fell off the wall at one point, and I tucked it away, and I'll put it back up at some point. You gonna be alright? You gonna make it?
Yeah.
Do you need the cup?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a super chat?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gonged anybody tonight.
Oh,
Thank you for the super chat.
Okay.
I've been looking forward to Cap gonging people all night.
All right, we want another super chat.
Adam March, I want to bring back Star Trek Club, and I've just had to put it on hiatus because we're shooting the movie on Tuesday nights right now, and that was the night we were doing that show, and I just can't sneak it in anywhere right now. But the hope is to bring it back when we're done shooting the movie. We're at about 35% shot, maybe closer to 40 now, but...
Ooh. Has the paparazzi just been hounding you just outside your house every night?
Sadly, no.
Oh, okay. It'll come.
I'm sure.
Okay.
When I'm finally actually honest to God famous, it will I'm sure not be for any reason I want. That'll be my luck, right?
Yeah. All right, we got a.
I shouldn't say that. It's gonna make people think I have some massive skeleton in my closet. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, that was
an adamantium
so
skeleton
intriguing.
in your closet.
I have an adamantium skeleton in my closet.
Yeah.
There's a dead woman in my kitchen. Anyway, I'm sorry.
All right, we got another $5 super chat. This time it's from Super Billy.
Thanks,
and
man.
he says, "Farewell, DJ. You are a phenomenal co-host."
You don't have to say goodbye. He's not leaving the channel.
and
He's just not going to be here every week.
And it was always a pleasure to listen to you. Best of luck on all of your endeavors.
Yeah, I may be disappointing a lot of people tonight. Everyone wishing me luck on my endeavors. I don't know how many endeavors I have, but...
well, you got a channel that's really taken off, so...
Oh, it's fun. Yeah. It's great. I appreciate everyone. Everyone's being super kind in the comments.
Oh no!
I feel like you're downplaying your channel because I'm telling you, I am really upset with how well it's doing.
Dad.
Like I'm sorry. What's up?
The Rebel Moon director's cuts are off this weekend.
Yes, and we didn't even review the second part. I keep forgetting all about it.
Oh my god!
No, we got to get to that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, do we just watch the director's cuts or do we actually review that? I don't know. Maybe we should review the second part and then do the director cuts as a live stream. No, I don't want to watch that much Rebel Moon. What am I talking about?
I do.
I love the idea that Cap is just stewing. Like every time I put a video up, he's just stewing over there, just like.
No, I'm really jealous about it. Yeah, I haven't seen 5,000 views in a really long time. Like,
we had a couple videos, air quotes blow up. One of them hit like 17K.
Yeah, you had an
18K.
18,000. Oh no, I'm paying attention because I'm upset about it.
And that was really cool. Like we jumped 1,000 subscribers in July. Those are always the big months. The big Criterion sales, those help.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's already slowing down.
For folks that don't know, what DJ does mostly is about movie collecting. And particularly Criterion and some of those other like kind of what would you call them, DJ, like boutique kind of
boutique labels,
so like Arrow,
Radiance. I just did my first Radiance order.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
These are awesome. Super excited about this box set. I have the video almost done editing. I'm gonna get that up tomorrow morning, so stay tuned.
Yeah,
but no,
awesome.
It's been fun. I just love the community. I love the live streams. That was the most fun. Like when the people that tune in every week, I get to talk to them. We had the live stream a couple weeks ago hit 75 concurrent, and I was like, holy crap, that's crazy.
And so you're consistently sitting around 50.
Yeah, that's the norm. That one was specifically like Criterion catered, so it jumped up a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like regularly being at 50. I mean, that's really solid.
I appreciate it,
especially for like how niche you are, and I mean, like I've been doing this for a long time. Those are still decent numbers for me.
I appreciate it, man. It's fun. They've been a lot of cool guys I've met over there, and they're super nice. And that's the thing I love. They've stayed nice. I don't have any like really bad commenters yet. So that's what's great.
Well, and physical media in its way is kind of coming back. Sort of, in that people are getting really disenfranchised with streaming and with not owning content, and like mistakenly thinking that digital things they bought will be there forever. Everybody was so naive about that years ago, and people are starting to go, oh crap, what's going to happen if this website goes under, or this company goes under, and I don't have access to my stuff anymore. And so people are wanting physical again. And because still few enough people are buying a physical, you get all these, and because box stores aren't carrying them anymore, you get all these really cool, pretty releases. It's turning into what records have been for a long time, which is you have to make the presentation awesome to get people intrigued enough to pay attention to you and to buy them.
Mm-hmm. And obviously the downside is the price. Price has to go up when you start adding box sets and booklets and all this extra stuff. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I can't buy as much as I used to, but the stuff that I can buy is really, really nice and beautiful. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, Films by Color, check it out. I've taken over the show.
Now everybody check that out. Go give him more views than me. All right, what else we got, Jayson?
We got another $5 super chat this time.
I'm going to keep playing this up. I'm going to get T-shirts made about how angry I am about this.
Films by Color sucks.
It'll be your password. We got another $5 super chat, this time from Victor Herman, and he says, he asks, DJ, what superhero movie are you most excited to never have to talk about again? Thanks for all of the great shows and best of luck with your channel.
Oh, what a great question. That's the thing, because we didn't do a lot of that. I guess Marvel Mania was the closest thing we did to like talking a lot about specific superhero
And for the
movies.
record, if MCU had stayed half decent, DJ would have stuck around and we would have done more of it. We talked about it forever. And even I'm not doing that now.
Yeah, you won't even stoop that low.
No, I'm done with that.
No,
That's never going to happen.
Phase 2 was amazing. I had a lot of fun with that. I guess the obvious answer would be Ragnarok. I don't like to talk about it, and also I don't like to talk about it because I don't like it, but also I don't like to talk about it because I feel like I'm making someone mad with everything I say. So it's just like we just kind of stopped talking about that movie after a while. But.
Yeah, but I predicted people would turn on that, and people have turned on that. There are still lots of people that like it, don't get me wrong, but I think Love and Thunder showed some folks the light, where they're like, oh, wait, this was always going to be what it was going to be? Yeah, what'd you expect?
It's like the Wolverine X-Men Origins effect, where everyone watched Origins once and then went back and saw it again and were like, oh, yeah, well, this is terrible, except it took a whole nother movie. It took a repeat of it in another movie for it to happen.
Even Hemsworth is turned on it. Sort of. Not that he's saying it's a bad movie, but he's like, I don't want to play Thor anymore. I don't want to do any more Thor movies if they have to be farces like that.
Yeah, I feel like that director got a raw deal.
In the meantime, he's making Transformers 1.
Yeah.
But okay.
I feel like that director got a raw deal because everyone loved it the first time, and he did the same thing, and for some reason everyone hated it. He's probably so confused. He's like, what? I did the same thing.
He did the same thing, and in some ways better. Like, I'm not saying Love and Thunder is technically... Well, I don't know. I was going to say, I'm not saying it's technically a better movie than Ragnarok. I still don't like it, but there are kind of... Because it started from its own premise in the first place, I think it kind of, in a weird way, holds together better. But it also has a better villain that you can take seriously apart from the rest of it. So maybe I shouldn't say that. It's very difficult to describe the experience I had with that movie.
I can't say anything. I haven't even seen it. I'm like 6 MCU movies behind, and so many Disney Plus shows. That's another reason why I'm just uninvested at this point, because I'm not in it. I haven't done my homework. The last one I saw was Into the Spider No Way Home, whatever that movie's called.
And I want to put myself in your shoes for a second, because besides the fact that some of your numbers have been better than mine lately, so you just don't need me anymore. I can't really imagine what it's been like for you continuing to mod and do that job while not only not really caring as much about the stuff, but just not even watching any of it. I mean, it's been a number of years now of you're just kind of like listening to the rest of us talk about things we've seen.
It's just you, man. I just have such a good time talking to you and talking to the chat that it's kept me on here, even though I don't care about anything we talk about. It seems like I still care about it, but I care about it in a kind of a nostalgic way, because superhero movies were my life. Like specifically Marvel. Like I grew up with Marvel. I grew up with Marvel Comics. Grew up with Marvel Fox TV shows. Grew up with everything Marvel. My room was the most decked out, embarrassingly decked out Spider-Man. It was like a museum. Like I had a desk in my room just loaded with, like, you know those guys that are like in their 60s that just have like their entire walls are just shelves of like old memorabilia.
Yeah.
Like, that's what my room looked like at like 11. I was such a weird kid. It was just like anything I could find that was Spider-Man just everywhere, decked out my room. Like, and that's what got me into collecting movies. The first movies I ever collected were all the Marvel movies. I used to buy every single one that came out. I talked about this in my complete superhero collection video that I did a few months back. Like, that's what got me into collecting, was superhero movies. So it's really weird to have this chunk of my life, this thing that used to mean so much to me, it's just not even anything anymore. It's very weird.
And it sounds like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like, DJ, it's not because you've necessarily like grown out of it, but that just the quality hasn't been there for you, or just the stuff that they've been making is just not what you want.
I think it's a mix of both. I think it's more the latter, but I also have fallen in love with cinema as a whole, and I'm watching so many things that I didn't grow up with, and I've kind of changed my viewing habits to be constantly pursuing new things instead of rewatching things. So I haven't gone back to a lot of superhero movies, and I imagine if I do go back, they'll drop a little bit, in my standing. But I feel like I'll still like the ones that I like. I don't feel like I've outgrown them, completely. It's just, I'm not excited about anything new. It's kind of evolved into something that I don't like anymore. I never was a big fan of the continuity thing. That was always something I lived with. Phase 1 of MCU was always my favorite, and the more we leaned into that stuff, the less it became for me. And it just pushed me right out the door, because it is all it is now, and it's the self-awareness doesn't help either.
Yeah,
it's sad. It's a bummer. Like I said, I was talking to Connor about this the other day. It's just like this big thing that used to mean so much to me. I used to go see every single one at the theater with my dad. I never missed an MCU movie, never missed a Marvel movie. And then I translated over to Grace. Me and Grace would always go see them together. And now it's just sad. Like, Grace wants to go see Deadpool. I might go see it with her, but I don't know.
I think I would be in a similar place if I hadn't been doing this the whole time. Like, I can't even begin to tell you sometimes how much of, I don't mean, like, it's not like I'm ever going to stop loving superhero stuff,
mm-hmm.
but it's also hard to say how much I might have dropped out of it if I wasn't still doing this. Like, I still see everything, but I don't think I would if I wasn't doing the channel. And I certainly didn't keep watching every TV show, but I would have had I thought they stayed good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've got interests that have changed also, but I've continued to keep up with this because I do this channel. So it makes me wonder if I might have, for lack of a better word, grown a little bit out of it, just like you did, just because I've continued doing this for work. But like, I've been on, the last several years, like I've developed a lot more of an interest for like nonfiction stuff and biopics and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff out there.
I watch a lot of. Just things I'd never talk about here. Anyway, we have a lot of super chats we got to get through.
Yeah. Super Billy, $2. He says, "Congrats, Jayson. Hope you negotiated a good deal." Yeah, we're not.
Well, he doesn't have the job yet. He's still. This is his interview, basically. So he's got to do a good job tonight.
It's kind of hard when there's so many people.
Well, don't worry. I won't be bothering you next week. Oh, sorry. I guess I should send some kind of sad animation when I say things like that. Here we go.
Okay, moving right along, Jayson.
Moving along.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell anybody what the contract is.
Anna March put in a $25 super chat.
Goodness.
For the super chat goal.
Wow,
Thanks
so
for
much,
your
man.
years of service, DJ. Keep doing the awesome stuff on your channel.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Comes from the heart. No, I really appreciate it. That again, that post that you made was great. Everyone was super nice and so sweet and very, very heartfelt, and I didn't expect that. I just read the questions, guys. I don't know. I didn't think I made that much of an impact.
No, you do though. Like I don't know if I would have necessarily continued the show or at least in the same way all the way to now. If you hadn't come on, like at the point you came on, I was like, I don't know if this has got legs. I didn't know if I want to do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, that was one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me was those first few months you told me that I kept it going for a while, and that was awesome.
Oh yeah, you really motivated me to continue.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was just a fun time. Very different time. What was that? 2019 that we started. Oh man, what?
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's been a long time. Yeah, everybody changes but me. I feel like I just kind of stagnate.
You grew out your hair.
That's true.
Change.
You got a lot more kids.
Physical ways.
I am gonna have to cut my hair for the movie though. That's gonna be weird.
Oh, I'll come back to that stream.
I didn't think you were telling anyone about that.
Well, at the point that it happens, I'm gonna have to tell them.
You'll just
because my hair will be cut.
I thought you were just gonna wear a hat.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I got headphones. I got big headphones.
Yeah, that's true. You'll just wear your Wolverine thing that you're wearing.
Starts wearing a hood every single day. Like, why's Cap wearing a hood all the time now?
Well, we're almost at 2 hours. DJ, if at some point you want to go ahead and deck out, feel free to. We're going to have to go a little bit late tonight because we got a lot of super chats. And DJ and I keep rambling about things. Go ahead.
All right, let me just make sure.
I was going to say, DJ, I almost wrote a totally different message when I announced that you weren't going to be on the show anymore. I almost played it like we had a huge falling out and I was really mad at you, but I decided that probably wasn't. I didn't know if that was funny to anybody but me.
That would have been great. I would have loved it.
You did the Cap hates Brandon.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Cap now hates DJ.
Oh no. Okay.
Cap also hates DJ.
We got a $5 super chat from Checkers the Inventor, and he says, "Bad news. I have recently learned that DJ is the anchor bean of the Captain Logan show universe. The show will die in 1,000-ish episodes unless we find a DJ variant."
Wow, I hope there's not some idiot from an agency that keeps track of YouTube channels that tries to make it happen prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that doesn't happen.
Twitter.
You hear that, DJ? You're an anchor being, even though everyone eventually dies.
All right, $2 super chat from Robert Wild. Oh, never mind.
And the reason it drives me crazy is because you got all these fans now trying to guess at who anchor beings are for different universes, and I'm like, can we not make this lore? For the love of God, can it just be that movie? Because it's fine in Deadpool. It's fine enough in Deadpool. I mean, it's still weird if I have to cherry pick my canon, but whatever with that. Please don't make it like a big thing.
And you know they will too.
Oh, well, yeah, because the fans are eating up with a spoon, and so there's no way they don't lean into that. You know, as soon as X-Men 97, and Feige basically confirmed this recently, as soon as X-Men 97 was showing big numbers and was the phenomenon that it was, that's when he went, oh man, we've got to really lean into mutants and the X-Men. And the X-Men era thing, he all but has confirmed that that's because of the success of X-Men 97. And I talked about this last week, saying that maybe, and I don't mean to say I told you so to Austin, although he sent me that article and went, well, Cap, you were right, because he kept telling me, and this was a good point, that maybe that was always the plan because of all the talk when they got the license that it was going to be a while before they did anything with X-Men. Like, we have big plans for X-Men. And then just the other day, Feige comes out and he's like, X-Men 97 was huge. We decided we better do more X-Men stuff. I forgot what exactly the quote was, but it definitely was at least somewhat motivated by that.
And he definitely sounded like that.
Sounded just like that.
Hey, we did X-Men 97. All right.
Yeah!
All right, we got a $2 super chat from Robert Wild.
Good Zack Snyder, guys. Good Zack Snyder.
And Robert Wild says, thank you for your work on the channel, DJ.
Did you say Robert Wild?
Yes, Robert Wild.
He's literally Robert Wild. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Thank you, Robert. I tried to respond to as many people as I could on that post, and Robert Wild had a hilarious comment there too. So I loved it. It was great. Thank you, Robert. I think I talked to Robert maybe once on camera, but obviously not as much as I would have liked. He's a great guy.
Don't worry, guys. Though when I cut my hair, I will eventually grow it back.
I think you have to cut it on camera, like.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
All right, $5 from Brandon Martin.
Style.
$5.
I don't mean to cut you down, DJ, but no.
All right.
I'll make it happen. Don't worry.
$5 from Brandon Martin. He says, "Forgive me if this was asked already, but what do you think of the new DC Studios logo Jim Lee put up? I think it's pretty cool."
I'm so excited about it. And I have a funny story to go with this, which is I actually made a short about this that I didn't post because I thought that you could put, if you did a short from your phone, that you could somehow get pictures in the short. But for some reason, there's a lot of nice features in the shorts editor. That's not in there. You can't put images in there.
Oh, do you want me to, do you want to just send me that? And then, like, did you?
No, I'll just cut it out of this now. It's not a big deal. But I need to come up with some way to be able to do that on a mobile device because sometimes I'm out and not anywhere near my computer when I'd really like to be able to just make a real quick short about something, and I couldn't do one about that and not show the logo. It'd be stupid to be like, the logo's great. Go look at it. I can't show it to you right now. But anyway, the new DC Studios logo is the old classic traditional like 70s, 80s, 90s DC logo with the stars.
Yeah, I see it.
And it just says DC Studios, or it's DC, and then it just says Studios under it. And it's wonderful. And I hope that Marvel responds in kind and goes back to the 90s Marvel logo that they had in front of the Spider-Man animated series. And they won't, but that's what I want to see happen next. And I don't mean to be all about nostalgia. It's just they were perfect logos. There was no reason to ever get away from them. Well, it's like the Geekvolution logo. Why would I ever change it now?
Well, why don't
I agree.
But I want to see.
Well said.
I want them to bring back the DC logo where it's the page.
No, that's the worst thing that ever happened. Was the stupid
the New 52 logo. That was the best DC logo.
And then did you ever see the Did you ever see the logo they did in front of movies?
Oh gosh, the silhouettes. Oh, the peel. No, I thought you were talking about the new silhouettes thing. Where all the animated DC characters were flying at you.
I'm just talking about that logo where they took the stupid fold thing, but then it peels on the.
See, that was the DC logo that I grew up with, on comics that I read. So that's like the DC logo for me.
Yeah, so much of it is that. It's just like whatever you saw 1,000 times. I should order my Marvel logo shirt tonight. That's the one the Cap's talking about.
Yeah.
All right. We got a 20.
Oh, I forgot you had that. Yeah, I'm jealous of that too. Honestly, I'm just jealous of a lot of things the DJ has.
Tobin
subscribers, t-shirts.
He put in a $20 super chat.
Oh, thank you! Wow,
sweet.
And
so what we do is you read it, and then the gong.
I thought you were still talking. Thank you.
No, I'm always talking.
Okay. Yes. So
you gotta pick your battles, Jayson. You gotta get in there. It's like a boxing match.
Yeah. This is the real reason he's leaving. He just got sick of the boxing match.
On a superficial level, what did you think about Hugh Jackman in the full Wolverine mask? I don't usually care about suits, but I thought this was one of the best live-action translations I've ever seen. DJ, goodbye, I love you.
Love you too.
No!
We talked about this on the 3.5-hour Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler cast, so, go scroll around in there. It's in there. But
it's like a Where's Waldo episode.
Like a lot of people, I don't think the white eyes work. And it's weird how they work with Deadpool, but not with that, just because the eyes are too big, and it looks kind of cloth, and it's hard to appreciate it as a stylized thing where, you're not seeing the pupils so much as just a weird part of a costume. But the kind of ears or wings or whatever you want to call it, looks good. It was more of a surreal experience for me than anything. Just Hugh Jackman's face being in clothes like that because he's been Wolverine for a bazillion movies and now he's finally wearing it. Like he would have always looked really good in it, but I kind of had this weird. It's hard to explain it. It's almost like a fictional uncanny valley thing where it's like yes, he's playing Wolverine and he's always been Wolverine, but now that he puts the mask on, I'm going, well, this is weird because, like, I recognize this actor. I know this guy. And like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just that's what it felt like watching it, where it's like, this would look great if somebody I didn't know was in it, but it's Hugh Jackman, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's Hugh It's like, he doesn't disappear in the role anymore. Now I'm going, oh, look, that's Hugh Jackman. Even though he's playing the same character, but now with a mask. I don't know how else to describe that.
It does kind of feel like a different character when he's putting the mask on, though.
Yeah, it's surreal.
Yeah.
But yes, he looks good in it.
That costume was translated pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
Unlike some other costumes.
Interesting. I didn't know he did the mask. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I feel like I'm the only person on the planet that is like super unimpressed by that costume. Like, I feel like people are just happy because it's yellow. Like, it doesn't look. It's not the costume at all. It's like a Deadpool costume that they just painted yellow and blue. Like, it's like it doesn't look like it at all. It's just got yellow color and everyone like lost their minds. I was super confused when everyone was super excited about that.
What were you expecting? Yellow spandex?
No, baggy yellow like military material that just looks like a Deadpool costume with yellow on it.
I don't know what Robert was talking about. He says, Cap, someone called that a mental breakdown. What is he talking about?
Also, did you guys talk in your 3-hour like expose on the film about does he have CG arms? Everyone was wondering if he was going to have CG arms after like the backlash. Does he actually are they his real arms or not?
CG arms.
Yeah.
Like
everyone
because
was
the suit was revealed and everyone was like freaking out because it's just a Deadpool costume and his arms aren't showing like Wolverine's arms. So then in the next trailer they were sure to put in a scene where like, oh, the costume's all of a sudden ripped and you see arms.
I didn't even think about it.
I wasn't thinking about it too much.
Like it was kind of like a Sonic. People didn't know if it was like a Sonic Backlash thing where they made the designers change those scenes and
I'd have to look at it again.
Arms.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Internet needs to know. I haven't heard anything about it since, so I'm not sure where it's standing now. But
I'm sure Robert could tell us. He cared a lot more about the costume thing than I did. But
oh, cool. Maybe Robert can tell me why.
Tell us, Robert.
Why
he still has the sleeves for most of the movie. Yeah, it's just like did they actually get ripped off in that point? I'm pretty sure they just got ripped off at that point.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Because at one point he's like, again, minor spoilers, but at one point he's totally bare-chested but still wearing the mask, which is hilarious.
Oh, really?
It's like they were making fun of the audience for wanting the mask so much that they had him lose his whole top, but he still has the mask on. That's pretty great.
All right, we got a $2 super chat from Lightning City. And
Can you tell me how many we have left?
We have 1, 2, 3.
Okay, let's say last call for super chats, and we're at 90. We are pretty close to the goal.
And I do still have some Patreon stuff too.
Okay, we'll get to that if we have time, but we don't have to hit them all tonight because that's just for the month of August. So if we don't get to any more, it's okay. Yes, August. But I want to remind everybody that we are going for a super chat goal tonight for Mike to write the first scripted superhero rewind in a couple of years. If we hit $125 tonight, I will do one on Logan, and I'm aiming to get it done by the end of September. I want to promise that. I want to say for sure that will happen. Apologies if life gets away from me and I don't quite get to that deadline. I'm going to try. But it will definitely happen. It's a thing that I've been kicking around doing for a long time, and I wanted to do some kind of, and I'll tell you, if DJ wasn't leaving, I would not have announced this week, but I wanted to do some kind of cool event thing for this. So I'm hoping we get there. If we don't, though, I will offer it again sometime down the line. We're close, though.
Okay, we got yes.
We got yes?
Yes.
Okay.
We got a $2 super chat from Lightning City. He says, "Love you, DJ. Give me your thoughts on the MTV Spider-Man show."
Oh, I had that show right back here. It was fun. I was kind of, I guess I was, no, because I watched Spectacular too. I don't know why I missed that show. I guess because it was on MTV maybe. But I eventually got the DVD and caught up on it years later. And At the time, I loved those movies, so I thought it was really cool. I don't have a lot. It's probably my least favorite of this. I mean, besides Ultimate, because I've never even seen that one. But like, it's cool. It's got some cool ideas. It's got some fun, different takes. But it never. I never rewatched it a ton. I caught up on it afterwards. I think Spectacular is probably my favorite, and then the '90s show I grew up with and I love, and Unlimited is weird and like a weird Star Wars animal thing, but I like that suit and I love that voice actor. That's my favorite Spider-Man voice actor, is Rhino Romano.
When I finally do that, though, you should come in for the mini marathon on that.
Oh, I was the one person who lost their mind when Spider-Man 2099's theme was a riff on the Spider-Man Unlimited theme, like in the theater. I was like punching Grace in the arm. I was like, oh!
No, that was exciting.
Nobody else got that reference, and I was freaking out.
No, come on for that show, because I've been threatening it for a long time.
And that song is so like he made that so iconic. Like that's in a bazillion TikToks and YouTube video. Like it's so cool that he went back and his whole score for both those movies is amazing. The way he riffs on old themes, like Gwen's theme is a riff on the original '60s Spider-Man theme. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's all really cool. Some of that stuff I think you picked up on way before I did, even.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man like I know Batman. It's like I love Spider-Man, but I don't know it quite as well as you do. At least screen stuff.
Yeah, people get excited about Joss Keaton saying 3 words. I was like, "Where's Rhino Romano? Get Rhino Romano in there. He's the best Spider-Man voice we've ever freaking had. He's the best."
Okay, so we are past goal already.
Oh man.
So
Great. Well,
thanks to everybody for that. So I'm gonna have to write that review now.
Yay!
This is a good idea until I realize now I have to do that.
You underestimated them.
I did. I really did.
All right.
It sounded like a really great gimmick. Now I gotta pay it off.
Why did I say it like that? Why did I go ha?
I don't know.
All right.
Now we had that pre-written toward the beginning of the show that I want to try to get in here.
Yes.
At some point, especially since we hit that goal.
Yes, I will do that.
Cool.
$5 from Super Billy. The main thing that interests me about Thunderbolts, what is that symbol called?
Asterisks.
Thunderbolts asterisks.
Yes, and by the way, it's a rule on the channel now that you're not allowed to refer to it as Thunderbolts. You can only call it asterisk.
And he did.
That's the rule now. DJ, have you seen we haven't talked about this on the show yet. We talked about it on the Deadpool review, but have you seen the poster yet?
No, I don't think so.
See, this is why you would have been fired if you didn't quit. Just kidding. The poster, because we keep making fun of the asterisk thing, is an asterisk made out of bullets.
Why does it have an asterisk?
It's this stupid gimmick they're doing where if I keeps making a big deal out of, don't worry, you'll understand what the asterisk means when you get to the theater. And I'm like, why is everything so counterintuitive?
Now, Super Billy did put an asterisk after it, so he's good. But the main thing that interests him about Thunderbolts,
I wonder how much more money that cost him to add that at the end of his super chat.
The main thing that interests me about Thunderbolts asterisk is the
$2 super chat or $5.
$5.
Okay. Did I gong it?
No, because I haven't even said the whole thing yet.
Oh, you haven't said the whole thing yet. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to. All right.
I'm so listening.
The main thing that interests me about Thunderbolts asterisk is the inclusion of Robert Reynolds / the Sentry.
Oh, I forgot they were doing the Sentry in it. Yeah. Man, I remember when I started on YouTube, the Sentry was weirdly popular with people on like comic YouTube channels, and especially action figure YouTube channels, for whatever reason. That was a different time. I bet half the people here don't even know who that is.
Nope. Sorry.
All right, moving right along.
All right, $2 from Super Billy.
You're going to be fired.
DJ, your change in viewing habits is inspiring.
Oh, thank you. It was nothing.
I'm sorry. What are you saying about me now? I watch real movies occasionally. When I'm not having to watch this crap for you people.
Yeah, I don't know what he means by that, but thank you.
Yeah, your
like
viewing habits
others.
are inspiring. I'm gonna quit the channel tomorrow, right after I write that Logan review. No, I get what he means though. Well, it's because it's probably because you're spreading your wings, you're exploring stuff, you're trying stuff you never would have tried before.
Well, what I said was, I've changed my viewing habits to watch more new things instead of rewatching things. So I don't think it's like about the content that I'm watching. I think it's more of like just changing that.
I was just kidding.
Which wasn't like an intentional thing. It was just like I fell in love with like. So I discovered this world of so many other things that I just don't have time to rewatch stuff anymore. We do rewatch stuff. Me and my wife like some special stuff for us, but there's just so much I got to catch up on. It's not much time to rewatch.
All right, Adam March put in a $10 super chat for the goal. The new Captain Logan show.
He almost got us there. We had one more that got us there after that.
The new Captain Logan show should feature TMBG covers to end the show.
That'd be great for the 5 people that would appreciate that.
Yeah. Could we come up with enough? I mean, I could. Like, could we come up with a different one every time?
Okay, so I thought when he said covers, he meant, like, album covers. Like, we just show TMBG album covers at the beginning of the show. No, so
play us out.
I actually really appreciate that you said that because I pitched this to Jayson as being like, part of the format. We were back and forth about maybe leading in with a song, ending with a song, maybe doing both. And then we were like, does it go well enough with what we do here? Like, I mean, TMBG certainly is, you know, a part of geek culture. I would argue a lot of people that are into what we are, or a lot of people that like that are probably into some of what we're into. But you end up kind of advertising for a band a lot of people don't know about in the middle of your show about like superhero movies and pop culture.
Yeah.
And most of what we're playing is TMBG with this thing Jayson and I started. So we're really on the fence about it. I would love to hear from people about, you know, whether you would think that it's annoying or if you'd like to see us do that. I think we sound decent. We did a live stream a few weeks ago if you want to hear what our stuff sounds like. And we did it once on the Captain Logan show. We did a couple of numbers to show people what we're doing. We've also talked about maybe giving it its own channel and doing like a cover a week or something. Ooh. And starting a music channel. But I don't know if we've really got time to add that in with everything else we're doing. So I don't know. We're talking about some different things. I also would love to hear from people, because I told DJ about this today. Another thing I've been kind of kicking around, and I didn't do it tonight, partly because DJ is here and because I haven't decided if I want to commit to this, but I kicked around maybe slightly changing the title of the show and adding like a moniker in it, calling it Jayson's pitch was Uncanny Captain Logan Show, which I kind of like. And we kicked around New Captain Logan Show. We had we called Comic Late Night that at one point when we had that show, New Comic Late Night. So we thought about doing that. I was gonna have you just tack that name into the logo with maybe a different color.
The all new, all different Captain Logan
and
show.
Then the mostly new, slightly different Captain Logan show. And then we would maybe renumber, maybe not.
Yeah. Robert says, Cap, you should do an entire musical episode of the Captain Logan show.
That's a great idea. That's a terrible idea.
No, do it just like the Power Rangers episode where you're just like talking with no plan.
Everything.
Yeah.
The laziest musical ever made. But yeah, I would love to hear people's opinions before we finish out tonight on both of those things. So doing music of the show, live music, Jayson and I, and in slightly retitling the show. What do people think about that? I might even put a post out tomorrow and do a poll and see what people think about that stuff. But
yeah. All right.
Just because I can't decide. I'm so indecisive. Robert says the Uncanny Captain Logan Show is a great idea for a title. What do you think of that, DJ? I think it sounds really good.
Yeah. It's different.
John says the all-new, all-different Captain Logan Show.
The all-new, all-different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. It's not all different.
It's not all different.
It's
slightly new.
Somewhat different.
Yeah, somewhat new, somewhat different.
Slightly different. Yeah.
All right, so we got a $5 super chat from Bag.
Well, you know what Austin said, which I also thought of before he said it. Web of the Captain Logan
Web
Show.
of the Captain Logan. Yeah, I've already said that. So,
That'd be
so we got
amazing.
a $5 super chat from Bag, and of course he did this. He put in 3 questions in 1 super chat.
Of course he did.
So number
so
one,
efficient, that guy.
Do I have to triple gong it?
yes. So
Yes.
number 1, how should one prep to go to a comic shop for their first time?
Want comics and then go look for them? I don't think there's any real prep that you have to do. It's a store like any other kind of store. You go see what they have. No, I guess the only thing I would say is, if you're looking for something in particular, maybe do a little bit of research and find out what kind of store it is before you walk in. These days, some comic shops are more about like regular new single issues, and some of them are more about trades. And some stores have back issues and some don't. And some stores are a combination of comics and gaming, and some of them are just comics. Some of them are mostly gaming, but they have new issues if you have a pull list, but nothing else. So there's a lot of different variation. So like if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Yeah. And then number 2, would Abrams Q know he's rebooted?
Oh yeah, that's probably the way I would do it, right?
Yeah.
Is you Abrams Q would be, and you might as well, like New Trek already kind of sucks, and I mean, Abrams isn't exactly in that, but you don't get New Trek without that whole thing. So even though I like some of that, it's hard not to lump it in a little bit. But anyway, I was just gonna say, like, I'm already unhappy enough with that reboot that I am fine if Q was basically just Deadpool in that universe. Yeah, I could live with a fourth wall breaking Q.
Yeah.
That like knows well, and also it wouldn't even really be fourth wall breaking. It rebooted out of original continuity, so he would maybe know there were changes to the timeline. Being omnipotent, I could see that.
Yeah. And then number 3.
I wish Q and Picard had been self-aware like that, but alas.
And then number 3, have we seen the trailer for Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, which we talked about very, very briefly a couple shows back when I was on. I don't think DJ was there, and we talked about the Nintendo Direct, and that was in there. And I said it's a cool idea. I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the biggest Link's Awakening guy, but yeah. And then Hot Soup put in a $20 super chat and says, "I love Logan."
Wow, thanks, Hot Soup. I appreciate you, buddy. Well, I'm glad. Now I gotta write about it.
And $5 from Bag Studios. Thanks for the years of great modding and great spirit, DJ. You've been a great presence on the show, and we'll miss you here. Long live Films by Color.
not for Cap. Cap's trying to take it down.
I can't have you can't outshine me like that, man.
I only have 4,000 subscribers. It's so small potatoes.
So far. Do you know how long it's been since I've grown at all?
Well, most people stop growing at age 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, that's right. That's not what we're talking about. No, I say that we stagnated a long time ago. That tends to happen with a channel like mine, especially that I'm not regularly putting out the thing that a lot of people came for in the first place with scripted rewinds. I realize that, I get where we're at, but recently we started seeing positive growth again, which is nice. Not like a ton or anything, but shockingly the shorts are helping.
Yeah, it's a whole different audience. I need to get on the shorts train. I tried it for a little bit. I just couldn't. I'm not good at quickly making things. I'm too much of a perfectionist, and it takes me like all day to make a dumb short, and it's not worth it. So I just gave up because I was just wasn't working.
I've been using, and I'm sure this isn't how you would want to do it because you're so much more of a graphic design visual guy. I mean, like it's what you do for a living. But with how minimal I am, with the visual side of it, I don't mind just taking out a minute clip without editing, especially because we don't edit in the first place. I mean, we're a live stream. What I do is different from what you do anyways. I mean, we are a straight up live stream channel now. Nobody's expecting, bells and whistles and editing. So there's an editor now in the remix section on, just for people that don't know, on the back end in your videos. And when you click on that, you can edit a short from your phone from any part of a video. And you can make it either, just like with any other short, you can go 15 seconds or you can go a minute, but you can also trim it to be any length you want to. And what I do is when I've got a couple minutes, I'll just open up one of our streams. I'll float around for a while. I'll land on a place and start listening for a little bit and go, oh yeah, that would make for a good short. And then I take that minute and I just make sure that it starts and ends at a decent place. Sometimes I put text on it, sometimes I don't. And then I give it a title and I upload it, and I can do it in 5 minutes or less. And I'm averaging 2 to 3 of those a day now. And I mean, like, I can do it sitting around waiting for somebody. I can do it anywhere I'm at. So
yeah, those are awesome. I just got that functionality. I didn't have it for the longest time.
Oh, really?
I was like, yeah, when you started doing that, I was like, how's he doing that? I'm like looking all over in my studio for this feature. And
I made you jealous. Good. No, I didn't realize that was something that you had to unlock.
No, I did a couple of those from one of my streams, and I had to download the video, my own videos, find some way to specially download it because it only lets you download in 720p. It only lets me download my own streams in 720p instead of 1080p, which is stupid. So I had to find some special downloader, download it, put it in Premiere Pro, and edit it, and then get it back up. Like, it was such a pain, so I stopped doing it. But now I have that feature, so maybe I'll mess around with it.
Yeah, you should. It's really easy to get that extra content. And then I wish there was a feature where you could do it for videos. I wish I could go in and make a 10-minute video the way I can make a 1-minute short.
That'd be nice.
So if I could do that from my phone, then I would have a videos feed again. But I have to sit down and manually do it on my computer, and I just don't have time. A lot of the time to do that. So anyway, I forget where I was going. Oh, I was just gonna say, according to my analytics, we've got an extra like 7,000 eyes on the channel right now because of it. Yeah,
Shorts is a different audience. If you look at the analytics, they show you like who watches shorts, who watches streams, who watches videos, and then they show you like who watches multiple formats. It's nice. I need to get on that gravy train.
And I'm only averaging like 400 to 600 views on them, but like it's bringing in a different audience, and a few of them are subscribing, but there's a decent number of returns, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We got one more super chat, and then
Jason's about to fall asleep, so we're gonna have to
sorry.
finish up.
I'm
here.
not,
No,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
actually that tired. But,
I got a super chat, Dad.
yeah, so we got one more super chat, and then we'll do a question, and then we'll probably be done.
We've got one more quick segment to do right at the end. Go ahead.
Oh, right.
You got to remember the new format,
Yes,
Jason.
yes.
We've changed
Okay.
it up. Go ahead.
All new, all different.
Yeah.
Sort of different.
$2 super chat from Robbie the Sky, and let's celebrate their 5th super chat on a live stream.
God,
Wow.
I need to get this closer to me. The gong has been just too thin tonight.
And he
That
says,
sound has
when
been
will
nothing.
you do the new
I might as well just say gong. Sorry,
So
what?
he says, when will you do the new My Adventures with Superman season?
John and I are hoping to do that just as soon as possible. I want to rewatch back through both seasons. So I'm hoping sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks we can get to that. But we've been talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're planning on doing it as a spoiler cast. We could change our minds and just do some of it as a watch stream, a watch party. But I think we're going to try to review it. There's just a lot of other things coming up we're also going to have to deal with Caped Crusader coming out. And I know there's a couple of other things on the horizon.
The director's cuts for Rebel Moon. That's
Oh,
on the
yes,
horizon.
that's a priority. We've really got to get that done.
All right.
Nobody cares.
Bump that to the top.
Yeah, all right.
Logan Rewind here. Rebel Moon here.
Yeah, can you imagine when I make that post? I'm sorry, folks, that donated to get me to finally write another rewind, but I've got to talk more about Zack Snyder. It's very important. Sorry, real quick. Let's also mention Jayson and I got a really hefty donation on a stream with a super chat goal, or it wasn't a goal. It was
it was a Super Rewind movie.
What now?
Thingy. It was a superhero.
No, you're missing what I'm talking about. I was going to mention just real quick that we are late on a thing that we so on a Captain Logan show. Somebody donated to have Jayson and I review an old Alice in Wonderland movie.
Alice Schwankmeyer.
Yeah, and we're gonna get that done as soon as humanly possible. We keep trying to get it snuck in, and we're just having a hard time to find time to sit down and watch it, and then get it done with other things we've been having to make videos on lately. So we will do that real soon. So apologies on that, but I never know what to call those. But it's not a super chat goal, but it's like me saying if somebody like top super chatter. I never know what to call that.
It's just top super.
It was a top super chatter thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, and then we've got one more question. This is from Dan's Den, and he asks, when you were doing Superhero Rewinds non-live, what was your note taking like?
Yeah, I wanted to answer that because that's a cool question. I mean, here I am talking about my process again, but one of the reasons that it got really difficult to do that show when I had more kids and not as much time on my hands is I took copious notes. I'm such an all or nothing person that what I have to do with a project like that is either take all the notes or none of the notes. So if I'm actually, and what I would do is I would try to just jot down things that like details about the movie that I thought I would forget, or just a brief, like, half a sentence, like, here's an idea I want to make sure and include in the thing. And what I would start doing is I would stop every minute and a half and write down any idea that came to me. And it would take me sometimes 6 hours to watch a 2-hour movie because I was just constantly stopping and writing things. And I would basically, and like, it was a way to do it, but it made the viewing experience weird because you're not really watching the movie as intended. So that's when I started feeling like I needed to watch the movies twice. Because it's like, well, I'm going to review this movie based on, especially if it's something I'd never seen before, based on an experience of constantly stopping. And so I would end up sometimes having like 50% of the show written with the notes. Because I would write paragraphs. And then sometimes I would go in and basically just organize my notes, and that would more or less be the rewind, kind of. I mean, I still wrote a lot of stuff that wasn't there, but I mean, there were a lot of just full paragraphs that would wind up in the rewind, and I didn't love writing it that way. I'm a linear writer generally. Sometimes I'll take paragraphs and move them around and stuff, but I like to write start to finish. And so then when it was a movie I knew really well, sometimes I would see if I could get away with not writing anything down and see if the rewinds still came out, more or less as well as they usually did, with the same level of detail and, thoughtfulness and stuff. And they did, typically, or at least nobody seemed to notice, So, like, I remember I wrote the rewind on the first Deadpool movie with no notes.
Oh, wow.
That is a 50-minute video. I wrote nothing down.
Wow.
That was all from off the top of my head.
Wow.
And the unscripted reviews, when I was doing that instead of the commentaries, I typically wrote a ridiculous amount of notes as well. And then I would organize them, and then I would just talk based on those notes. And early on, I tried to see if I could get away with some of those without any notes at all also. So I'm talking off the cuff, trying to more or less stay in the same format as a Superhero Rewind. And that was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. So if you go back and listen to the Doctor Strange unscripted review, like, sure, there's going to be some tangents and hemming and hawing and stuff, but it's kind of preposterous, I feel like, what I was able to remember without writing anything down. And then when I was done with that, I just wanted to, like, fall over and die, because there's so much to keep straight in my head with all the analysis that I just kind of, like, filed away. So anyway, so the answer to that is it was back and forth. Like, sometimes I wrote a lot of notes, sometimes I wrote no notes. There's never anything in between.
I need to start writing notes. It would actually save me time, I believe, because I just go off the cuff. I do so many freaking takes. Do not become a YouTuber if you're a perfectionist. It is the worst. A video I'm editing right now, 13 minutes is the final, an hour of footage. I shot an hour of footage. I just keep doing, not like starting over, but like just keep saying lines over, like takes. If it looks like I'm in one, it's so bad. I was like, I just need to start writing out scripts, and it would save me so much time of shooting.
Yeah.
Space.
Well, and in doing shorter videos like that, you might consider writing scripts, but that's the reason, and especially with my stuff being in depth and people liking long form stuff from me anyway, that's the reason that one of the big reasons that when I started live streaming more, I decided to just not do regular videos anymore, because I would do, and I've said this before, but I would just start over constantly, just being too much of a perfectionist about it. And when you're live, you're stuck. You know, you got to do it. You're live. People are watching you. So if it's not perfect, whatever, you just roll with it. Now I wonder if I have more of a lazy attitude about it, because I'm okay with making mistakes and things not being, always right. And I don't know that my thoughts are as organized as they would be if I still did it that way. But it's one of the reasons that I wasn't able to finish Not Spawn Year, because that was a show that very few people were watching. The people that were watching it seemed to really like it. But I would have days where I spent like 2 hours shooting one of those, and they were only like 20 minutes just because I started over so much.
Yeah. I definitely, I'm getting over that a little bit. It's just the end of, like, the intros and outros for some reason are the hardest thing for me to shoot. Like, trying to start things off and wrap things up is where I get 1,000 takes in.
Oh, interesting.
Like, once
that was hard for me at the beginning, and I've done it for so long now that I have my patent standard. Here's how I start. Here's how I end.
Yeah. I'm getting there. Still small potatoes. Still a little bit insecure about it, so it's coming along. We'll get there.
Well, that's understandable, man. I mean, you didn't think you'd ever want to make videos by yourself. You didn't think you'd ever even want to be on camera at all.
No, I have this to thank for that. And Morphin Mania was a big help. That's where we really started talking. That's where I first got on camera, and then Marvel Mania and this show. So thank you so much for everything you've done, man. And
Me too.
All the guys in the comments, I really appreciate all you guys. You guys are the best. And I'll be around. Well, Cap and I are already talking about some ideas, some videos, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and again, we'll come up with cool topics where you'll want to come back to the show, and you won't have to think about Dr. Downey Doom.
Downey Doom.
I think Downey Von Doom is my favorite that I've heard so far.
Downey Von Doom.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Jason, are we done with questions?
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to go to our final segment of the night. This segment's gonna switch around on different weeks. We've got different ideas for it, but tonight we're gonna do some rants.
Yeah.
And Jason, I'm gonna let you.
Gosh.
Do your rant first, unless you'd rather I go first.
No, I'll go first.
Just kind of set you up
because yours will be better. So,
how do you know? You don't even know what it is. Maybe it sucks.
Dad has heard me say this a lot, but I don't think I've actually said it on camera.
Do it up.
At least not to the full extent that I think I will. So, I have been...
Did you see it, DJ?
What happened?
You talking about Avengers Doolittle?
No, Braden Atkinson doesn't mind you leaving.
Oh. See? It's all for the best.
I don't mind DJ leaving. Get out of here. Sorry, Jason. Jason's gonna do a rant.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a rant. So why does Braden Atkinson hate DJ? No. Anyway.
Maybe he just likes you. Is that possible?
It's true. Take it as a compliment, Jason.
Yeah. So, how do I wanna?
You should, especially as you're auditioning.
Oh gosh, auditions.
Okay, give us your rant.
So I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna say this. So I've been following. You know where this is gonna go. I've been following Nintendo Directs for the past year, I think, and they've been pretty good, except for the fact that it's all been remakes, and they haven't been putting much new stuff out that I really care about. Right? I mean, they did they've been putting out new like Pokemons and Zeldas, but there's nothing that I especially care about, and most of the stuff that they've been putting out is just like shameless remakes and just like stuff that doesn't even look. Some of it just doesn't even look any better than the original game, and then I don't even know why they do it. And then they put a price tag of like $50 on it, and I'm like, I'm not spending that.
Yeah.
Just to have it portable, like. And sometimes they
don't always add enough or change enough about it.
And sometimes they'll make you spend $50 for a game that already was handheld. I'm talking to you, Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
Like Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sick of, and I mean, I know you like that they're doing Donkey Kong Country Returns, but I'm just like, I don't know, we have it on the Wii, like, I don't need.
I'm just glad we'll have it on that system, but I don't want that over a new Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yeah. They can make it new Donkey, and I don't even think it looks very much better, like.
No, I don't either. My theory, Jason, that besides just if it's a popular enough game and people are really clamoring for it, they're going to be able to get away with that price tag, even if there was a time where it would have seemed like more of a budget title. But I also think that part of the reason that Nintendo can get away with that is because they're putting out ports of games that are now really collectible and expensive because of where retro gaming has gotten in the physical collector's market.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thinking maybe here's this GameCube game that's $80 or $100 all day long if you want to get that, and GameCube there's not really a lot of emulation for, I don't think.
Yeah.
And so maybe people will pay $50.
Well,
and it feels like a bargain.
Here's what
now,
I think happened.
even if you own a GameCube.
Here's what I think happened with this as well. They put out Metroid Prime Remastered at $40, and that game did really well. So I think they upped the price for the rest of the remakes because they're like, oh well, the remake thing is going well for us, so let's just make it all. We've got all these remakes going anyway, so let's just have it be higher.
Yeah.
It
does look kind of greedy.
I also don't care what anyone says. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is the dumbest title ever.
Oh, Brayden says GameCube has a good emulator. Well, there's enough people that won't emulate that. And obviously Nintendo doesn't want you to emulate.
Yeah.
But that's not going to cut enough into their bottom line where they're thinking we can't charge more.
Yeah. But I don't care what anyone says. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is a really dumb title. Just call it Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. You don't even have to put a HD there.
But is it worse than putting a game with Wii U in the title on the Switch?
I don't know. I mean, what else were they gonna do?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But it's still weird.
They didn't call it New Super Mario Brothers 4 HD.
Well, and to be fair, like Mario 64 is still called Mario 64, but that at least doesn't say the entire title of the system in the title.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, I'm with you on your rant. I've been complaining about that too. Yeah. Okay, my rant is I am tired, as I'm sure most people are, of app updates that are downgrades as opposed to updates. And I have complained about this before, I think, in another rant, but this will be an update to that rant. Because this keeps happening to me with things, particularly lately with the Facebook Messenger app and with, yes indeed, YouTube itself. So I'll start with the YouTube thing. There's this glitch, and YouTube creators, anybody watching right now that has your own channel, tell me if you've had this problem or if it's just my phone for some reason. But there is a glitch that's been happening since shortly after, I think, an update, where I can't click on one of my videos. So this is inside baseball stuff. This is on my back end. looking at the YouTube app for my own videos. I can't directly click on one of my videos and open it and look at the comments or anything until the video has been uploaded, or in my case, the stream has been done for like 16 to 24 hours.
Yeah.
And the only way I can look at it is to click on the 3 dots and put it in the queue. I figured out how to do this. I put it next in queue, and then click on the video in the queue, and then I can watch it. Why does it do that? Why is it so broken? And how have not enough people complain about this that they haven't fixed it yet? I've been dealing with it for 3 weeks at least.
That hasn't really been happening.
Yeah, it's never happened to me.
I want to know if anybody else is having this. It's driving me crazy. Maybe it's just my phone, but it's, I don't know. It's irritating that it does that. And also, for a good long time, until I think it's finally stopped doing this. It's not well, and actually this can't just be on my end. This is definitely just YouTube. I would do a stream, and it wouldn't show the viewers from the stream in the view count until much later. So I could have 100 people, like my peak concurrent even could be 50 or 60. Or when I finish, it tells me right now how many views we've had on this. So I see my concurrent viewers, but then on my back end, I can also see how many views we've had so far. So far on this stream, we've had 348 views total, whether they stuck around or not. When the stream is over, it should have at least that many views. And it would be at 0, and then it would only climb from what gets watched after the stream. So it would look for at least a couple of days. This one, it took 48 hours, and I was never even 100% sure if those views got counted. DJ, it was really hard to tell if I was just looking at views that came after it, or if I was actually getting the views from the stream. And so 2 hours later, you'd have 40 views. When you knew 400 people watched the video, or watched the stream while it was going. Oh my god.
Yeah. I thought you were just talking about, like...
never had that.
I hate it.
I thought you were just talking about, like, bad features. Like...
Just like
YouTube.
Broken crap after an update.
Yeah.
The thing I've been having lately with Facebook Messenger is if I screenshot a website, sometimes it will let me send it to people, and sometimes there's an error and it won't let me send it to people.
Oh.
And it also does this ridiculous thing where if somebody sends me a picture, the thumbnail of it that I used to be able to just read and not have to click on it will be completely blurred out until I click on it. Yeah. Maybe my phone just sucks. Are neither of you guys having any of this problem?
No.
And then it's also doing this thing that it didn't used to, where it used to be if you sent somebody a YouTube link, it would show the video and what the title was under it when you sent it to people. But lately, when I've been sending people YouTube links, all they get is the link and nothing else.
Yeah, that does happen. That has been happening with me.
So some of this is not just my phone.
But it depends on the link.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't.
Although, DJ, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, that might be part of it.
Yeah, it might just be an Android thing.
Because it might just be an Android thing.
Yeah.
But...
maybe so.
Anyway, apologies for the really late night, guys. We're going to go ahead and get going. But thanks for watching, everybody. Jayson is the new mod. He's been doing a great job. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for bringing your Eminem album review. Wasn't expecting that. DJ, obviously, come back anytime you feel like it, and let's come up with other videos for us to make together. And confetti.
Thanks for letting me go out with a bang. Still think you should have went through with the whole, like, firing me on camera thing.
I should have.
Great.
Yeah, I should have.
But no, thanks.
Somebody would have thought it was real.
Well, I should have. How inconsiderate of me! I should have waited till April Fool's Day to actually do this. But
oh my God, you just couldn't hold out that long.
No, I appreciate you let me be on one more time. Thank you, Jayson, for filling in my shoes, and I loved everything about this. It was great.
Well,
And,
I mean, it's not going to be the same show without you, but we will try to make it entertaining, and we'll have DJ on for other things. And I'm glad you did come in for this show, because folks were hoping that you would. I was just gonna. I don't know. I didn't want you to think that I was like hounding you or anything, so I wasn't gonna bring it up unless you did, and then you did. So I was like, okay, good. Like he's gonna come on for that show. But it sounded like you were just really, tired of new pop culture things, and I was like, I don't want him to have to sit through me talking about Comicon.
No, and I was never sure like how it would work. I wasn't really saying I need to stop right now. I was just saying like, we can finish the last month, or we can do this week. I think this works out great that we have one like final show, passing the torch, power transfer to Jayson, and
yeah,
and I'm sure he's gonna do great. It's gonna be a great show.
Too much mod energy.
Big mod energy is not what you want, but too much of it. I was thinking actually when you were talking about Fantastic Four and how it's going to be like this retrofuturism thing, I had an epiphany while you were talking.
Oh God!
And I think that you and I should do a commentary on Barbarella.
Oh sure, I've never seen it.
I'm totally in the mood to watch Barbarella again after all of this retrofuturism talk, and that does play it straight, and it's the most absolutely absurd movie I've ever seen, but it plays it straight, and it's great, and she doesn't crack jokes or wink at the camera or anything. It's so fun.
Well, and that movie's interesting. I still haven't seen it, but it's directed by...
It's based on a comic book.
Yeah, it is, and I think it might count for Rewind, which means if we do it, you'll have to come on for the commentary project, because I'm not doing that movie twice. Like, that'd be weird. But I'm pretty sure that's directed by the same guy who did Danger Diabolik, and I think it was the movie... Or no, it's not directed by him. The guy who plays Diabolik is in it.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome.
And I think it's the movie he did just before that.
Oh.
And I'm only remembering I'm only getting this from his commentary that he did for the DVD for that movie like a year or two before he died. He came out in like 2008 and he died right after that.
Wow.
That's one of my favorite commentaries, by the way.
Yeah, I should watch it.
Yes, DJ, we'll do that. That sounds great. Because I'm going to have to do that anyway if it counts. I think it counts.
Well, Austin says it's on the list, so...
Is it on the list that it counts? Okay.
There you go.
Guys, we've got big plans, lots of things coming up this week on Geekvolution. I got to get going. I got a lot to do. But thanks for watching, and we will see you again real soon. Once again, I was Captain Logan, and new mod, Jayson.
New mod.
Old mod, DJ. He'll be back, guys. Don't cry too hard, but we will miss him on the weekly, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye, everybody.